Nice. We are live. What's upper domination? Rich here with Dean Chambers, the Dean of Positivity. And we're going to go through the whole thing. Oh boy. What a day. What a day. That was insane.
Unbelievable.
That
Yeah.
was insane, right, Dean?
Oh my goodness, man.
Oh,
It was
everybody. Eating awesome.
yeah.
Well,
Nadine and Amy already here. And
yeah, she was waiting.
Athian.
That's kind of my fault. Dean knows around the trade deadline, literally 12 o'clock today.
Mm-hmm.
Man, my my car. I had to move my car first of all because of street cleaning, and then it was a hot day out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and then my car had a dead battery, so I had to call AAA, and then they said to leave it running for like 20 minutes. So I was leaving it running. Then I decided to go get some lunch at the nearby sandwich shop. So I go there, car's running. It starts to overheat.
Because it doesn't have any coolant, right?
And so, yes, because it was abnormally hot, like really hot, like 80 degrees right there.
Yeah.
It was a weird day. And then, so I had to deal with that. And, I was texting Dean back and forth, and I happened to be just sitting there with the hood open, with just kind of, I put more, luckily I had coolant in there, in the trunk to put more in, but I just had to wait for the weather to cool down and everything. So crazy day today.
My
Okay.
I think the trade deadline must have broken the internet because my Wi-Fi went out too around that time. So it would have been a mess if your car was smart.
Yeah.
It knew that it had to
wait
a couple hours.
We got Amy to thank. Why
Yep.
Amy? Because she's in Hong Kong, so I always wanted to go live with these things around this time,
Sure.
6:37, because then it's not too late on the East Coast, and then it's what's the current time right now in Hong Kong? It's oops, hold on. Let's throw up the good old. I'm gonna need this. I'm gonna need the salary cap table. Current time, Hong Kong. 10:30 over there,
Yeah.
Friday. So, yeah, let's go Warriors. Okay, we have our first kind of like comment right there in terms of Gary Payton and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, and then
we'll get to it.
Yeah,
Sean.
yeah. Wow, we got 83 concurrents right now.
Yeah.
So let me just thank everybody for commenting. We will get to your comment. Promise. Just go ahead and ask in the comments because that's what we're going to do. I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Our way.
Q&A.
This is the organized on the fly.
Yep. That's all right. It's what everybody else is doing anyway. So
yeah, we don't really need to recap the day, I don't think, because what's more important is what's on your mind, which is I know it doesn't solve all of the issues, and how does this stop paint domination?
Mm-hmm. And I think we should try and recap what some of the trades are more, not in the sense of what was given up or anything, but just looking at particularly the Pacific Division and the Western Conference and
Absolutely.
the East, and some of the teams that are probably more likely to be contenders. So, when we talk about other teams, maybe we can get into some of the other trades. But I'm sure you guys know the big news that's happened for the most part. I doubt anyone's coming here not knowing. I might have to move into the other room real quick in a minute. So I'll wait to see what's going on.
Well, we got buyout. I'll put a list of
the buyouts come next.
I'll put a list of topics in the description, and I will save it every couple minutes so that it updates. But the first one is and so feel we still need a center. Okay, still need a center. Okay. Those are valid. 5-minute mark. Did you want to tackle the whole? We still need a center. How do you stop? This
Well,
doesn't. Gary Payton doesn't solve being dominated in the paint. That comment that just came up.
yeah. I think real quick though, someone just said there are more West players than East players in the All-Star game, which doesn't matter as much now anymore, I guess. But
Yeah.
what would have happened 15 years ago? I don't know. Strange, right?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, Adam Silver. Switched it over to the
Yeah, just in
draft.
time. Just in time. Well, how about LeBron James and that scoring record, huh? Like that just happened. It's crazy, right?
Crazy.
And everything's different now.
How
So
many
I guess
days ago? Was that Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, our game was Tuesday, right?
Yeah, so that was
LeBron breaking a record was yesterday.
yesterday.
I can't even figure
There's
out.
no way that's true.
No,
That was a week
Tuesday.
ago,
It
right?
was Tuesday. So
Yeah.
yesterday was the game that we lost in Portland.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
And I've lost track of time because of trade deadline. But yeah.
So Monday was Klay's 12 threes. Tuesday was LeBron's record. Wednesday was the Kevin Durant trade. And today was the trade deadline. That's insane. But good for the NBA getting a little bit of news out there, a little bit of, eyeballs and content and whatnot, around Super Bowl weekend, right? Or week.
And we got Super Bowl this weekend, man.
Yeah. That's right? The Super Bowl's this weekend?
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get into it, huh?
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm trying to catch up with all these comments. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. I mentioned this a while back, but I swear at the end of the season or over the off season, there's that MIB pen thing, and everyone stands in front of that championship trophy where all the big guys got played off the court except for the MVPs, and we didn't have that caliber big man on our team anyway with Wiseman. We just didn't. They forget that this is a guard, wing, forward dominated league, and the Warriors are always going to go for that. So yes, maybe a vet center.
We've gone small since 2015. Somebody said that recently. I forgot if it was in the comments, but that was kind of cool. We've gone small since 2015.
Other than Tim Duncan on the Spurs, the Heat went small with Bosh at the 5, LeBron 4, Wade probably the 3, Ray Allen 2, Mario Chalmers 1. The Lakers were huge, but they would put Gasol at the 5 and have a little bit more, Odom, and then Artest, Kobe, and Fisher, right? Those are all perimeter players, even if they're large. The Bulls had a great small ball lineup. The Russell Celtics played 4 out with Russell in the center. The Magic, the Showtime Lakers played 4 out. The Celtics at the end of 1987 in Larry Bird's finals game.
Well,
he ended playing at the 5. You go small in the playoffs, okay?
Wait. Say that one more time. Larry Bird.
The very final part of in the fourth quarter to try and get a spark in Larry Bird's final game played in the finals, game 6, 1987. He finished out the game playing the 5. He played center.
Wow.
To try and get a little something going. I guess maybe Mikal was hurt or something, and they took out Parrish, something like that. But lots of times, even back then, you go small unless you have a really, really talented big man like Kevon Looney or Draymond Green. It was kind of you don't have to be small. We're not small. We just don't have a 7-footer because we have Looney, and then we're going to play, we're not going to play Hassan Whiteside or maybe play JaVale McGee here and there, Andrew Bogut, okay. But do we need one? I don't think
Yeah,
so.
that's right.
You
People
know,
forget we didn't even play Bogut at the end of it, you know?
yeah, he was kind of old. And obviously he would have been vital to game 6 and 7 if he hadn't gotten hurt in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's a little bit of the Looney role, a little different, a lot bigger, not maybe quite as quick on the perimeter. And so
Yeah, I kind of go back to this that I always have up on every live stream that we do.
we're going to do this ad nauseum until people
Boston game
start.
6. 7 of the 8 players that were hoisting the trophy in June
Yeah.
are back. And instead of
nine
Porter,
or 8 out of 9, really, because we still have.
right. I mean, Andre should be there and hopefully fully healthy. But now Kuminga has earned this role right here that Otto had. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's we're seriously running this back. Like no one can deny that now.
And the biggest question of this is why didn't we take Saddiq Bey? Because it looked like we had traded for him. Maybe Bey didn't want to come here because he was afraid that he would not get enough minutes. Maybe the Warriors were hesitant to put someone in the Kuminga role. I think that's important. But Rich, we're on Draymond's side of this, right? Media wise, a little bit.
Yeah,
we were wrong. Rich, you and I were wrong. We needed Gary Payton. Okay, you guys were right.
Right.
You guys were right. I love this deal.
That in the comments. You said, and I, during games like last night, I catch maybe 60% of the comments. So
sure, yeah, you're really busy. Yeah,
you jokingly said that we should just get GP2 back, and I didn't notice it, but we did forget to mention that. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict a 4-team trade. This is basically a 4-team trade.
Oh, and it extends to like 7 because the Blazers used some of this stuff to go get Matisse Thybulle, and that's a 3-team trade. This
they
was
absolutely Thybulle? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Man, 7-team trade or no?
Yeah, sort of. They're interconnected. There was hardly any simple trades, but almost all these teams did multiple team trades. There were a bunch of second-round picks, a couple trades with 5 second-round picks like ours, and so many guys went back to teams that they were already on. It's really weird. It was the reunion in 5 seconds trade.
There was there was a second-round pick that got traded back to the original team. I forget what it was.
Really?
That was crazy. That's hilarious.
That's
you just traded for a package that included your pick that you traded away. And it's too, like
it's like taking a loan from yourself. How did they pull that off?
Yeah,
and getting paid for it. Crazy.
I love this. I mean, we're just going random here.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Off, before I get to this comment, because I can just leave this comment from NBA 876. Nice profile pic, by the way. NBA 876. This is hilarious, by the way. But you mentioned Saddiq Bey. What if this was all already sort of architected? Do you think it was more Bob Myers knew what he was doing the whole time? I feel like they kind of knew that then we got to send Saddiq Bey over here, get the 5 picks over here, and then Portland's going to love having 5 picks. But because apparently having 5 second-round picks is now equivalent to a first-rounder, because we've seen one that had 4 second-round picks and the other one that had 5 second-round picks and another one, right, in another deal. So do you think maybe that was all orchestrated?
Well, there are 2 things that come to mind, and the first is that I can give you my take, but this is going to be a very interesting article thing for the journalists around the team and other people interested to try and figure out, because this could have been guys like January, like, let's go try and get Gary Payton II back and figure out what we have to do, and whatever. Or it could have been, wow, the Kevin Durant trade just went down. We need to bolster, at least, like, we're not going to be able to match our offense with any trade that we make, probably. Let's go bolster our defense, which we did. This should be a much improved defensive team. The second thing that comes to mind is the Dutch, the people of the Netherlands, who started trading flowers on their markets to the point where they were at one point worth more than gold. And then someone basically said, what? That doesn't make any sense. And it totally collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the first
tulips.
Tulips, yeah. Yeah.
So you have a tulip analogy here from Dean Chambers.
I think all these second round and first round picks are going to come up, and they're going to remember, oh, it's really hard finding the right draft pick. And, you know, why take 5 second round picks for a good player? You know, like all these teams aren't going to be able to use all these picks. And what are they going to do? Send them to contenders? I think there's just going to be a little market correction on the value of these draft picks because I don't know who's going to be able to use them. I really don't. You know,
interesting.
They'll have to go back to contenders, and why most contenders don't want draft picks. So I think there's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to be useless because they have inherent value. They're good players, and you never know when you're going to get a Draymond Green. You never know when you're going to get a Jokic or Manu Ginobili in the second round. You know,
that's an interesting example. I want to pull up a funny thing that I found in regards to those 4 and 5 second round picks. Let me show you guys this example before we get right back to the comments and just go crazy in the comments. Just what's the analogy for what we're doing with the comments here? It's shooting from the hip or something.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's just there's no organization around this, but that's fine. We're just talking.
Wild West. That's what it's going to be in the NBA anyway, too.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about the teams yet, and we're talking about. Check this out. This was hilarious, I thought, and then we'll come back to the griddy dance because this is all Ja Morant's fault, is it not? But anyways, Brooklyn Nets. But we should role play here. I'll be the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, I got to scroll. There's one line. Yeah.
I'll be the Bucks, and you be the Nets. No, I'll be the Nets because I'm the Chinese owner. Chinese, I have Chinese heritage. So
I'm not trying. I'm not touching that. So go ahead, Rich.
No, I already put myself.
How do you do in Milwaukee
last night on that? But go ahead, ask me about who you want here.
We want Jay Crowder.
Hold on, just give us 5 seconds.
Sure, 5 second round picks are yours.
No, I meant 5 seconds to think about. You know what? That's fine.
How about Gary Payton? Give us 5 seconds.
We want 5 seconds. Oh man, that was funny. And then there was a deal right after this with 4 second round picks, and then suddenly we found out that we got 5 second round picks. How do we get 5 second round picks again? From Atlanta. We sent Saddiq Bey over to Atlanta.
So
we sent Wiseman to Detroit.
To Atlanta. Atlanta gave us the picks, and we got Kevin Knox back from Atlanta. Sent him over to the Blazers. Along with 5 second round picks. They traded Kevin Knox to the Sixers for Thibault, and there was another team involved. I don't know. This stuff is getting like MIT level like complex. Probably not to that extent, but you know what I mean. It's getting real ornate,
It was just insane because the whole time I'm sitting there going, well, none of these salaries match. So what the hell's going on? And then finally you got the Gary Payton part of it. But I wonder also, there'll probably be some articles written about just the actual structure of each deal, who got what. I mean, you can send Wiseman for and Bay in the circular pattern and 5 second rounders if they have or we have. It gets confusing, but teams can use traded player exceptions that.
Well, the Pistons have cap space, and they just absorbed it right in. Yeah, they didn't need a trade exception.
Yeah,
for Wiseman. So yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I don't want to toot my own horn too much. I was talking about Wiseman to the Pistons, so I got that right at least.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, the other thing is if we go to the last funny thing, then we'll move on. CJ McCollum.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's all because Ja Morant said he was good in the West.
Yeah, really.
And that ties right back to the griddy.
Did he say he was fine in the West?
Yep, I'm fine in the West.
Fine in the West. Only worried about the
Suns. And then right
Suns.
after that is when we beat them Christmas.
Right.
That was back in December.
Mhm.
Crazy. All right. Go ahead and talk about whatever because I'm just going to go down here. Wiseman wasn't getting minutes. Oh, I think Jonathan Kuminga probably gets pushed down in the rotation a little bit, right?
Yeah, that is an interesting question because, well, let's get into the lineup.
Well, you know an easy way. Here you go, Game 6.
Yeah, it's only 8 players though, and the thing is, we have Curry. I would, with Curry's moving towards small ball, I wouldn't be surprised if they just play Curry, Payton, Wiggins, Curry, Payton, Thompson, Wiggins, Draymond Green. Around the playoffs and probably a little before that. And then that's Poole, DiVincenzo, Moody, Kuminga, and Looney. So that's a 10-man rotation right there.
So you're saying Steph, GP2 will start in the finals, let's say, in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Klay, Wiggs, and Draymond.
Yeah. And then the bench is I like Poole as a shooting guard.
Yes.
As much as Dante's great at that, I think having Poole in that position, he tends when he's focusing on pass first. I like the mindset he approaches the game with. So Poole, DiVincenzo in the backcourt, and then Moody, Kuminga, Looney. Man, that's 10 deep. Moody is the least proven of all those guys, but that dude is a young vet, and I love Bogdanovich. I would have been willing to give up Moody for that, but honestly, I'm really happy that he's stay. I hope they find the minutes for him too. But this is an 8-man rotation here. Obviously, 40-something minutes.
I'm not happy with this. That's what blows my mind. There's literally people that were in our comments today that were unhappy.
Yeah. They were unhappy that we drafted, or they would have been upset. No, we don't need to get into that. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
There's your bench.
But
so let me copy and paste.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Well, Wiseman, I think, is going to be a really, really good player. I hope that he develops to his fullest potential and gets an offensive system fitted around him where he's comfortable. And, try as you might, a 21-year-old guy with that level of talent, they're going to get going on the offensive end. He's a scorer who had a lot of defensive potential. That just wasn't going to happen here, Still, we got Gary Payton back for a roster spot that basically had no impact on the team this year, last year, and half a year before that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying we got him for nothing, obviously. It's the potential of Wiseman, but he wasn't playing. And we got a guy who's like the best fit in the NBA.
Back to the salary cap.
Not talent-wise, but personality-wise, comfort with the team-wise, And the Warriors, bulletin material in the locker room is that you talk about having a pretty good 10-man rotation. Who do we have? I think we have 8 guys who we can say should be above average to elite defensively. Donte, Gary, Wiggs, Kuminga, Dray.
Yeah, that's crazy defense. Yep.
Moody, Klay, and Looney. That's an 8-man insane defensive team, especially on the perimeter. A little bit, you guys are right. It's a little light inside, but Gary is a defensive. Honestly, I think he's kind of a defensive superstar. People don't get how good he's going to be rejoining this team, and the kind of chemistry. The Warriors are not going to.
Defensive
he's
chemistry.
Instant energy. He's instant. We are not going to have lazy games. I think that's going to change.
Love that. We are not.
Gary's not going to let it happen. He's going to scratch his. Oh man, he's going to scratch his head again in a Warriors uniform. Yes, let's go. Let's go. I'm so excited about that, man.
That's been our problem. Lazy games. We're not going to have lazy games with Gary Payton there.
I don't think so.
94 feet. How can you not get up when you see GP2 pressuring Ja Morant 94 feet?
Video coordinator, man.
I give JK credit. He tried, but there's only one guy that really, when he's doing that, you're like, whoa. But JK is pretty damn good on defense as well.
Oh yeah, but he doesn't have he can't go up to guys. I guess he was in the G League as a player and then back with the C-Dubs. But well, he's playing. Yeah. So hopefully he's healed up from that abdominal injury.
Yeah, he's playing now.
Even if he's not
injuries.
Here, one sec. I'm going to mute myself for just.
Yeah, no problem. Is he going to play Saturday? I would assume so. I mean, Kyrie Irving got on that jet and went and played for Dallas, like boom. So I don't see why not. Oh, and we didn't even mention JaMychal in that rotation.
Right. So that's 9 defensive guys. And Curry's not a slouch. So
yeah,
that's 11 players, and the only one who's not that good is Jordan Poole, and he's improving. He's working hard.
Yeah. Let's see.
I just,
energy.
One complaint.
Oh, good question, Bruce. What number? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Well, wait, Gary Payton he was 00 in Portland. Kuminga got that.
And he was 0 here. Huh.
Good question.
Maybe it should be 2 or 5. Oh no, it can't be 5. That's Loon.
Oh, can he be 2?
Yeah, do 2. Second ring, get GP2. Why not? I don't think we have another 2, right? Do we? What's Moody?
Questions, man.
He's 4.
Energy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a live wire, man. I'm so happy.
What's that? Said we didn't get Payton for nothing. What's that? I don't even understand that one. Repeat your question in the comments. Say it a different way. Oh, Iguodala down. Yeah, Iguodala. I think you mentioned him. I just forgot to type his name.
I don't think I did because he hardly plays, but that's another. Yeah. He still has hands.
I keep moving Moody further and further away. So that's 5 starters, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 12 solid guys.
Overall or defensively?
Including Iguodala and Moody. Well, the only guy you can really take out of the defensive liability is Jordan Poole. So, man, just the depth. I mean, I'm only, adding GP2 to this whole gigantic roster right here, but it's really cool to just go down this list of names, and you can count on every one of these guys to make a stop if you need it. Maybe with the exception of JP, right? But still, like, 11 out of those 12 names are pretty solid.
We might be able to throw an Anthony Lamb in there too.
Yeah, exactly.
Ty Jerome's 6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would switch Donte for Gary? Oh boy, I don't know about that, but
for the starting lineup, maybe.
I'm thinking, just GP has the chemistry with them.
Well,
ever
I
since last
like
year.
Donte being the secondary ball handler with Poole, and
Yeah.
Gary doesn't need the ball in the starting lineup. And we need Rich.
Yes,
I
sir.
do think Monty Poole had a little point of it's a little hard playing 3 out, 2 in. I do, but Looney,
Meaning Draymond and Looney together.
at least in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Looney as the backup center to Dray with Wiggs, I guess, as the power forward, and then Kuminga as the power forward on the bench. That is a very talented lineup with a lot of perimeter skill, pass, dribble, shoot, defend, rebound, a lot of perimeter quickness, a lot of switchability. That's 2 solid 4-man lineups with I mean, at least JaMychal Green. You could talk about Lamb or Jerome or Iguodala or Baldwin. I know Rollins had season-ending surgery, unfortunately. But I'm really excited for the Warriors. I think to get back to what I was going to say earlier, bulletin board is top 3 defensive team in the NBA from now on, at least. I don't know about overall because you'd have to drag the first half of the season up, but we really have that opportunity now. I mean, we should be an amazing defensive team. If we're not, that's lack of heart,
You know what's crazy is that GP2 is just one guy, but I truly believe what you're saying. Like, you bring him back, GP2, like that, the chemistry that he has with the team, the defensive, we talked about shared brain on offense between Draymond and Steph. On defense, you have a shared brain of like GP2 and Draymond, and he just knows where to be. It's just that comfort level that you can depend on GP2 just like you can depend on Draymond.
Yeah.
So that part's great.
Offensively, I don't think he's played 17 games.
Taka. Yep.
Well, I'm talking about efficiency. He's played about 16, 17 games this year. And he hasn't missed a free throw. I think he's shooting 68% from 2 and like 58% from 3.
Yeah,
and he's
been
shooting over 50% from 3 since the playoffs last year. So that's been like 20-something games. You don't need him to shoot 50% from 3 all the time, but he knows how to score efficiently without ever needing the ball in his hands. If he starts hitting free throws, look, I at this point, I'm so happy. I'm going to say I'm going to give you guys a hot take. I hope GP2 basically finishes out his career here now.
Yeah,
like the amount of joy he brings, the kind of player he is, and it's hard, when you have a guy like Wiseman struggles going on a team. It's hard emotionally because you see how good he can be, and that you can't really give him, what he deserves. And the Warriors figured that out pretty quick. They figured it out pretty quick,
They put Gary Payton on our squad already? Where is it?
Should be.
Nope, Wiseman's still there.
So yeah.
So I went back to the Blazers, trying to look at his contract. And
it must be here in the middle or something. Yeah,
it would be $9 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing over there. Let's check Spot Track. But yeah, I love that. You reminded me about his efficiency. Just incredible. Spot Track, Warriors salaries. There it is. Oh boy, just keep commenting if you want us to cover a topic. This is crazy.
Yeah, look, if you guys really want to center, what we're talking about is maybe JaVale McGee, maybe
JaVale, is he available?
Well, in terms of buyout, I forget where he's at actually.
Where the heck is he?
Or maybe Serge Ibaka, or someone like that, or Marquise Chris, my guy.
Oh, those are always wait, buyout. How much can we afford to pay these guys?
Yeah.
minimum, right?
Oh yeah, no, we're only offering the minimum. I think there's really nothing else we can do. Might have a little of the mid-level exception left.
Oh, he's on Dallas. He's not leaving Dallas.
Probably
He's
not,
like,
huh? With
if
all
I
that
get to
passing,
yeah,
yeah.
you're good. We just picked up Kyrie. I'm good. You know, he just sit back.
Would you guys rather have a 4-year-old Serge Ibaka on a buyout for a team that doesn't use big men, or Anthony Lamb?
Also, I think that Serge, I just feel like he's going to get a good offer somewhere.
Mucho dinero. Who has the longest wingspan on the roster?
You
know, that's kind of more important. I don't mean to dictate to you that, and
let's get into that.
Nothing, it's nothing at all. Like, we're gonna have to game rebound, but
yeah. So when we play Jokic, let's say we play Joel Embiid in the finals. Let's keep it safe. Jokic in the Western Conference playoffs.
It was Draymond on him last time, and Loon.
We already had that last season. Yeah. So I don't know. I just is it because Eubanks got a putback dunk last night on us when Looney had to rotate to the corner, and then we're still gonna have to rotate. I don't know why there's this fixation on having a center.
I think it's a little, in the regular season, it does detract a bit, but by the time the playoffs roll around, and we have to assume that the trio can get us to the playoffs. Otherwise, what are we talking about? Yeah. We need a buyout center to get us in the playoffs. No. But by the time the playoffs roll around, everybody goes small except the Sixers and the Nuggets. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
We're going to have a hard time anyway. Talk about, what if Loon is hurt? Well, if Loon's hurt, that's going to be really bad no matter who we picked up. There might be somebody out there.
Yeah,
might not be. But there's that MIB, I swear, man. Hold the championship trophy. We need centers. We need big men. We need 7-footers. Yeah, it happens every year.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
And I do like Ibaka, by the way. I wonder how he'll get minutes if he's a little old and kind of hurt his back problem. Maybe. I don't know how many buyout guys really can help contenders a lot. It happens for a game or two, and that's really what we're talking about in terms of playoffs. One game. You're getting that guy for 1, maybe 2 games.
Yeah. Speaking of, if Looney gets hurt, you just have to man up, I guess. I mean, I'm not just trying to think.
Look. The way is to play the other centers other than Jokic and Embiid, we're just going to have to deal with them with Dray and Loon and maybe a little JaMychal Green, little Kuminga, strong, fast guys who can front, who can, get in front of passing lanes. Embiid, honestly, I would just let cook and try and shut everybody else on the team down because he's not the best passer. So, we've talked about these game plans in the playoffs last year. You want to let Jokic,
become a scorer,
be a playmaker sometimes to keep him outside, and then once his passing gets hot, you want to try and force him down into isolations in the post so that the rest of the team doesn't get fed by him. I mean, there's all types of game plans and things. These guys aren't brittle; they're not weak. I know Jokic is huge, but we've been doing this for a long time. And for the most part, we've been pretty okay. Don't remember the last time a center really scared the Warriors anyway. If we play Embiid in the finals and something like that happens, man, I don't know. I guess we'll have to go get somebody, maybe. But who? How
and that's the other thing.
Stop Embiid?
That's the other thing about the NBA is like when you're on top of the mountain, It's they've got to adjust to you. They've got to take you down from the mountain first. So that, you know, it's funny because there's people that are scared that we don't have a traditional center, but really I look at it as Denver and the Sixers are going, oh, okay, now we got to play the small team. You know, my guy's gonna, you know, we're gonna try and pound them, but I'm worried. I mean, they're the ones that won the championship with that squad. We're trying to take them down, you know. And so what do I do when they go small and they're on fire with the Splash Brothers plus, you know, plus their weapons and we've got to keep up with them. So it's almost like you guys are worried about them, but I'm looking at it as they're worried about us because we're on top of the mountain. We're the champion team. We're the ones that have changed the NBA to become faster, and you better keep up with us. So then OKC looks at this whole thing and okay, we'll go, you know, we don't really need big guys. We're going to go small as well this whole regular season. In fact, they got rid of Muscala. You know, he was expendable. So, you know, the NBA is trending that way. There's some guys you can't help. Like if you have Jokic, you have Embiid, even Nurkic has played well for the Blazers. You just kind of, it's not like they had a blueprint. It's just kind of, they had what they had. They looked at what they had. They said, this is the best course of action. And
we don't have a clue what we're talking about, James. Really? Okay.
Yeah, James
look, dude. I know you played, probably not in the NBA, and neither did I, so that's fair. But, you know, the whole principle of small ball defense is to shut down the perimeter passing and scoring while being able to manage points in the paint, right? To be able to have Draymond fly around the court while everybody else is difficult to attack, and obviously Steph, you know, is pre-switching picks. So they try and target Curry. He sees that coming, switches with someone else, and you have 4 other outstanding defenders. You don't think small ball will work? Okay, we played with Kevin Durant as the 5 for 2 finals, with Draymond Green as the 5 for 5 of them, 6 of them really. You know, you want to say 2015 Bogut was the big man. Okay, fine. But 5 or 6 of them. And, you know, the whole principle of that is that you have quick, skilled, strong players able to contain the dangerous parts of these other guys. We beat Jokic last year, and they didn't have, you know, Jamal Murray, although that can be a little bit more dangerous because Jokic is now just feeding everybody else, and it's not this 2-man game. But the whole point of that is to try and be able to put the best defenders you have around to try and stop Jamal Murray. You know, you're looking at the Suns. You now really have to worry about, Kevin Durant's 7 feet and he's a small forward. You know, look, we don't need these huge people that you keep saying we do. We never have. No, hardly any team does unless they're absolutely outstanding already, unless they're perimeter players. We're going perimeter over a little bit of height. What did you want? Did you want to keep Wiseman? Is that why? Like, I don't understand how you could look through the history of the Warriors and say we're going to be screwed by this. Like,
yep, that part doesn't add up.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not trying to be aggressive. I just, yeah. Well, Looney barely played. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know what else we need to prove after last season.
Yeah.
And if we go and if we get knocked out by Jokic, this is what I'm saying from what I meant by we're on top of the mountain right now. Our system works and we're on top of the mountain. If we this season get knocked out by Jokic, then you adjust. Okay, you adjust. But you have to stick with your guns.
Yeah, who can guard Jokic
And then
anyway? No one.
also, if we lose to the Sixers in the finals, then the whole league learns something.
Yeah, and you
want to make
Embiid has not also gotten through there, going through.
he hasn't even gotten through his own conference, right?
Yeah.
So we gotta meet them there. That's not a blueprint I mean, what's your blueprint then? I mean, like, if we go out and get JaVale or Hassan, they're not playing. They're not playing the rest of these games because we're stuck here in 500 land. And then when we get to the playoffs, they're not playing because Looney's the guy that starts the game against Drew, Eubanks, or Nurkic. Take your pick. They don't even play that many minutes. But let's say we're playing Denver. Looney starts on Jokic, and then we switch it around. Then Draymond guards Jokic, and then at the end of the game, it's going to be Draymond guarding Jokic. It's not like this isn't, they don't have this. You said you played in college. They don't have this in college. They don't have this sophisticated movement towards small ball, and the best defender in the history of the game, in my opinion. He's definitely in the top 2 or 3 for Dean. Draymond Green is enables us to do a lot of these things and to stay fast, in transition. Splash Brothers.
I know who played center in 2015. It was Draymond and Bogut.
Yeah. So, and even in, I mean, the game evolved
and space
only in Game 4 in 2015. It wasn't until Game 4 when the game officially evolved to the small ball.
And anyway, you know what? We could be wrong here too. Maybe he's right, but this has been the history of the Warriors. This is why the Warriors made this trade. This is the way that we're going to run the team, and it's been pretty successful. Yeah, it's been pretty successful over the past couple of seasons. They can't win. Not saying you can't win a championship. We'll get exposed in the playoffs. Well, that's just where basketball is not art. It's not subjective. We'll see. We'll see.
I still maintain the oldest basketball mantra is, I'm on top and you gotta knock me off. So if your way of knocking me off, and believe me, the Denver Nuggets believe this. They have to. They're competitive. They're good. They're talented. They got a good coach and a good owner, good GM. Their formula is to knock us off with Jokic. Sixers, we can't even. They got to make it to the final. But yeah. So until they do, we're going to keep doing that, and that's going to be how we're going to do it. That's Warriors basketball. It really doesn't involve anyone bigger than Looney. Is Looney and Draymond switching off at the 5, really, with a little bit of JaMychal Green, which is still small. So it looks like that's the formula. And until someone knocks us off, why would we change our own chemistry with that? It just complicates it, I think, to bring in your ideal 7-footer. Let's say it's JaVale McGee. I just don't know how he would play and how we would really integrate that. It doesn't fit right now based on the last,
have to bring me up.
55 games. So based on the last 48 games or whatever it's been since we went 0-5 on that trip. But anyway.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta move the computer to the other room real quick. Okay.
Yeah. No worries. Go ahead. We'll get you back. So, it's clear to me, which is interesting, what I've learned, and it's been good because I've had a good week in terms of just always finding that gratitude for this live stream and just the Warriors. And man, I feel like we were rewarded today with Bob Myers's hard work and getting GP2 back, which is something that nobody could have planned. It's when you when you get pleasantly surprised by things you didn't expect, that's what makes life pretty awesome. And so I'm like in a learning state. And what I'm learning is that, okay, well, there's going to be a sentiment out there that says we should still get a big man. So I get it. I'm not totally I'm not trying to whack-a-mole James Warner here. No, I get it. And James has been good to us in the comments. He's developed equity. I will personally disagree, and it looks like Dean is with me on this one to disagree. But what I've learned in this discussion with James in the comments is that okay, you guys got a point. And just like Dean said, we could be wrong. Not a Jokic could knock us off, and then next year, guess what?
Yeah,
we're going to be trying to get JaVale back or whatever, right? But yeah, for the time being, I think the one thing that Dean and I are right about is that the Warriors are going all in on this, and they'll probably not go and get a Hassan Whiteside, JaVale, Boogie, Dwight Howard. Probably not do that.
Yeah, I didn't mean to come off too aggressive to
no,
Mr. Warner. I just
the thing is comments, right?
You can't hear the tone.
You can't hear the tone, and I James has actually built some good equity in the comments over the last week when I first kind of met him, and so I get it.
I didn't mean to yell at you, sir. Although,
and also,
I do think we do know what we're talking about a little bit. I'm just saying that.
I'm having a good week, just like I'm saying. Like, I'm not really bothered by the negativity. Just having a good day with that. Like, I've seen some stuff in our comments, and I'm not fighting anybody. Sure, I'll delete some and I'll block some. Like, some people will go on the comments and just like throw Bob under the bus. Well, then I know that that's never going to go anywhere, and he'll probably throw somebody else under the bus the next time we lose. So I have to block those people. But
sure.
James is good with me.
All good. We're good. Just talking doves, having a nice trade deadline afternoon.
Yeah, I do think
or we're at whatever time it is for you guys.
At least we're kind of, this is a good problem to have. I think it's a good problem to have in that it's just that one, caveat type thing. There's other teams that have more issues. Like Minnesota's got to figure out how they mesh with that starting five, the new starting five with Conley in there.
Mm-hmm.
We don't worry about
that. I'm from Utah. I follow Jazz, not as much as I follow the Warriors, but I follow them a lot. And Conley's a great teammate, man. He's an amazing teammate, really.
All right. So what should we talk about next? Are we just go up the comments and look who we want to talk about?
Well, I think we can maybe you can pull up some of the major trades or something, transactions that have gone down. We'll look at how we think this impacts the Warriors going through the West and the East if
okay.
The very first one is, man, the Suns are going to be tough.
Oh yeah,
the Suns are going to be a tough team.
Let's pull up their salary cap table. I hope it's updated. We can go to Spot Track. Kevin Durant, look at that. Boom. Guess who's landed in Phoenix? Look at that.
My God.
Bam.
Welcome to Arizona.
It increases. Wow.
Raising Arizona.
But now, like getting GP2, I feel a lot more confident of, just if we had to play Phoenix tomorrow, to me, it's still, coin flip as to, if you wanted to predict. I just want to watch the game. So I'm not going to predict, but having GP2 makes me a lot more confident of just walking into the gym to play these guys. Not really, they haven't even seen this. We won't see this because Durant is injured for the time being. But I feel a lot more confident somehow figuring something out to play defense against these guys, particularly that guy. So
they have Chris Paul. Okay, well, let's look at what there's. One thing I like to do with trades is at least look at the starting lineup. Yeah. So they're going to be playing, especially probably because of the money, they're probably going to be playing Chris Paul, Cameron Payne, Landry Shamet, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton.
Who's Cam Johnson? Is he still on the squad, or did he get traded? Because I don't see him anymore.
Cam, did he get traded to the Nets?
Holy smokes! I got rid of Cam Johnson too, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, wasn't he was on the sidelines of the Nets Bulls?
Oh, okay. All right, so then it'll be campaign. Probably campaign or Shamet.
Shamet.
Who would you put in there? Probably.
Well,
Shamet.
I mean, it could be T.J. Warren too.
T.J. Warren. Yeah.
He's a good scorer. But it's probably.
Well, that's their weak link.
What? T.J.
Their
Warren?
2 guard is their weak link.
Well, I mean, with Devin Booker, he's 2-3, so it's going to be
either Cam or Shamet will be the start, or Warren will be the starting 2 guard, right? So I'm just saying by default, Booker's the 3, KD's the 4, Ayton's the 5.
Yeah. Well, I probably put Booker as the 2 and have one of those guys, especially if it's Warren.
But Shamet's too small to be a 3.
Well, if we're talking about T.J. Warren.
T.J. Warren.
Whatever. Anyway, it's not that big of a deal.
It's more about or Warren. There's your weak link. Nah, I shouldn't say that. I'm just more confident now with GP2 on the squad. It's crazy. So 2 guard. Then
lack of energy and defensive awareness is what Payton brings too. I'm just replying to Vitor right here. In terms of this, this is going to be a hell of an offense to stop. Chris Paul, these are some weapons for him to utilize. Obviously, I would imagine there's going to be a lot of CP3, Ayton pick and roll, and then they can just ISO Booker and Durant, have Warren or Campaign or whoever just run back from corner to corner or something like that. But I think I love this movie, so I'm going to reference it now. In 1982, John Carpenter released the Thing, which is about a shape-shifting alien that looks and acts just like the people around you. So you have no idea who the monster is. Not. I think Gary Payton helps us be that shape-shifty type defense. We have a lineup that is deep for almost.
Gary Payton is the Thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Will assimilate them, absorb them.
1982, John Carpenter.
I love that movie. And Steph is McCready, if anybody knows what I'm talking about.
We're gonna have to all watch that movie to pop quiz from Dean next live stream.
18 plus. It's pretty gory. It's a great horror movie. It's a classic.
Oh, man. I'll try and start answering questions in the comments that are one-offs. So you go ahead, and if you see anything in the comments, you can tackle it as a major subject.
Yeah. Back up to Kevon Looney at the 5. I think I gotta say I think Kerr's going to stick with the small ball lineup, and personally, I love Payton in the starting lineup because again, he doesn't really need the ball. We have Steph, Klay, Dray as ball handlers, Steph, Klay, Wiggins as the perimeter shooters. And you keep Poole, DiVincenzo as the primary ball handlers coming off the bench with Kuminga, and you pair that with Moody and Looney, or Lamb or Jerome, or whoever fills out that spot, which actually brings me to a question, but I'm going to try and Sammy ran around his house screaming when he heard about it. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't just get 5 second-round draft picks. That would have been that great. Although I guess we could have gotten Sadiq Bey if this trade didn't go down. But Bob Myers still knows what he's doing. I hope he comes back. I hope he signs his extension or gets a new one or new contract or whatever. I hope he comes back. Let's see.
I hope he does whatever the heck he wants, because I have this just this feeling that maybe he wants to retire, but maybe not. I could be totally wrong.
Oh man, if Steph Klay and Dray are on this team, just
write it out, right?
Right. You don't have to stay here forever. We don't have to pay luxury tax forever, but this is never happening again. Ever.
Yeah.
We might have another great team, but these lifers, that's, I don't know. I wouldn't just leave, but not everybody thinks the way I do, obviously. Would I take the Warriors over the Suns? Well, we don't do, comparisons, rankings, awards, and predictions. Yeah.
And I just said, I feel so confident with Gary Payton suddenly.
I'll tell you this, Blasian. I'm confident that we'll have a strong game plan to be able to fall back on, and I think they probably have better top-end talent at this point. They're a little younger with Ayton and Booker. Durant is one of the few players who's really him and Steph are that's head-to-head type stuff. And then, Paul is just really feisty, and that team's going to be very hungry. All those guys feel like they have to prove something. Obviously, Durant has two chips, 2 finals MVPs, 4 finals that he's played in, 3 plus 2019 where he played 1 game. But he's still hungry to prove that he can be a champion again. And we didn't have hunger. I think we're going to now with Gary. I do. I think not made for media. Okay. West Coast cultured. Okay. I guess go find a different channel. Huh?
Oh, I don't even know.
Anyway, I think our game plan and our depth, though, the depth that we're going to be able to put out there is going to be outstanding. I think it's enjoy the ride while we can. Absolutely. Do I think the Warriors can win the title going up against anybody? Yeah. Sure. It's more realistic now. 5 big men who can rebound. Maybe not. We don't have many minutes to go around, though. You get 240 minutes in regulation game. That's it. And you can chalk up 30 to 36 to 4 or 5 players already. Maybe one of the starters will play more like 30, 32 rather than 36 minutes. But this is a veteran who the team absolutely, you could tell yesterday. My guess is the Warriors had no idea. The team really didn't have any idea that this was going to happen, the players. They were talking like they really missed him yesterday, not like quietly, which they might have done if they knew a trade was coming.
Oh yeah, sure.
So I think maybe the front office knew, but Poole and the players, I really don't think they had more than maybe a rumor that it could happen.
No, they had no clue.
Yeah. Maybe we do need another big man, but again, this is not going to be heavy minutes, multiple or playing every single game type stuff. if it's a Kevin Love who's got that shooting ability and is a good passer or someone like that, I mean, he's an unrestricted free agent next year, and I know he's close with Klay, so I'd love to sign him.
Whew.
In a kind of maybe JaMychal Green area. I hope we can keep DiVincenzo, but I think
Kevin Love.
I think that would be
to go from 28 million down to a minimum.
Yeah, but get paid in gold, hopefully.
Well,
Get
actually,
to play with Klay.
what if what if Donte leaves and we can offer him the mid-level?
Yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I really hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, we'll see.
I would love to keep Donte. Yeah, Nicole, that's all we've been talking about. It seems like, should we go for another center? Right now, no. I don't think there's any reason to do anything like that. If we can get a Kevin Love, Serge Ibaka again, it would be great. He's a little old and a little back problem-y for my taste, but he's certainly a very high IQ guy, great locker room guy. Feeling a little Iguodala vibe from him in terms of that, if you get what I mean. But it's not going to be vital as far as we can tell from February 9th, 2023. Because we basically have our big men. It's Loon, Dray, Kuminga, JaMychal. Am I forgetting somebody? Yeah, those type of guys. I'd go for Love too, but that's more of a question of he has to come to us, because once that contract's gone, he's going to be very valuable. He's not valuable right now because his contract's way too big, but once he's an unrestricted free agent, whether it's a buyout now or testing the, and I would imagine that he, because it looks like the Cavs are going into the playoffs. The Cavs and the Bulls were the only two teams that didn't make a trade. So 28 other teams made trades.
Holy smokes!
Today
really?
or before that. That's what. I saw that.
So Chicago must be burning down the house over there. The media.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, apparently they didn't do anything at all. Yeah, he's not really playing is the thing. He's still in the league, but he's not playing that much, I think. Well, no, Atlantic Atmosphere. They got Matisse Thybulle via that trade eventually, not directly, obviously. A lot of threads, a lot of ins and outs, a lot of what have you.
Someone sharpening their axe in your house?
Oh no, I was just rubbing my hand against the desk.
Oh, okay.
Probably nervous tick, because I'm not really ready, West Coast cultured, to be in the media. JTA ended up in Utah. That's right. Yeah. Let's go. Is Rashawn Holmes available? Really? Yeah, they're big guys that I wouldn't mind. But I don't know. With the way we play this team, would you really want these guys that you named over signing? I don't know. Do you cut Ryan Rollins to get Ty Jerome and Anthony Lamb both in the team? Because we have one roster spot open, and Rollins is a second-round pick who just had season-ending surgery, and I probably wouldn't be much of a. Let's see. So when I say cut, there's ability to, I think with small contracts like that, I don't know. I think there's some exception or something that you can use to. But I mean, anyway, would you do that to keep Ty Jerome? No. It's I thought for second-round picks, like if it's not guaranteed, he has a guaranteed contract though, a fully guaranteed contract, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it'd be biting the bullet on a little bit of money, but
yeah. Man, you could just waive them.
Would you do that to get? I think they'll probably sign Lamb unless they sign a buyout big, and that's fair. But
I think you have to go into the playoffs with as many pieces as possible. Like fill out your roster.
yeah,
So
it's
there you
not a
go.
hypothetical question. I
I
really
didn't
don't
even
know.
think about that until now.
Yeah.
Like so he's done for the season. Why wouldn't you? I could be missing something, but you want to go in the playoffs with as many bodies as possible just in case. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go into the playoffs with Ryan Rollins. You probably got to waive him at some point, and then you go, okay, well, who do you replace him with? It's probably Ty Jerome.
Ty Jerome and probably Anthony Lamb, right?
Well,
You
yeah,
think
I'm assuming
sign a
Lamb.
15th. Yeah, he'll get the 15th, and then
I don't know, but
waive
we'll see.
Rollins or the thing is, like, it's made even harder because he doesn't even have the chance to defend himself, really, because he got season-ending surgery. Man, yeah. Don't you think Dwight Howard's a little too old and maybe not the right locker room fit? Jabs. James bring up that Klay has been on fire, has never shot 40% from behind the arc in the regular season, at least in his entire career, which is amazing that basically we had Steph do that for 10 straight years. And then Klay's doing that his whole career so far. I mean, I love the way that Klay's been playing. And, a little bit more veteran know-how, a little bit more playing on a string, a little bit more, Gary's a great pick setter too, which is very important for us. You get Klay getting back to even more catch and shoot with his really improved playmaking, I think, this year. He's really shown how he's a really good passer, which I love, I wasn't able to see all of the Portland game, but it looked like Wiggins was a little bit more energetic, than he'd been previously.
Yeah, it was a weird game, just the fouling and got us in a bad position. And I think point of attack defense with GP2 solves a lot of, right? So you'd expect that against a team that's like Portland that has two really good point of attack guys in Damion and Anthony Simons. And I even wonder if we were to look at the game log, do we always have trouble with point of attack type teams? I bet you we do. I don't know. The main thing this season has been the mentality, which also GP2 helps solve. But as far as last night, yeah, it was like I'm not going to say. I think Wiggins played fine. It's just that, yeah, we just lost the game with not being able to contain and fouling a lot. But Wiggins was okay. I think he was fine.
Yeah. If Wiggins really ups his rebounding the way he did in the playoffs.
Yeah. I believe he had 10 rebounds last night.
Yeah, that's great. We need, I guess you can't really ask that from Wiggins every regular season game, but when the playoffs roll around, we're going to need that every game. Wiggs, my man, $2 million for every rebound, Andrew. For your contract. It's what, 15 per game? So maybe 12. I really want Myers to stay too. Yeah. Yeah, Raptors didn't make that big of a move, other than getting Jakob Poeltl.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, but they didn't really blow up the team like people thought they would.
Oh.
That is was it? What's his first name? Masai,
yeah. Slater had he had a tweet about that. We'll pull that up. He just said that.
It was the price that they were asking for.
He was saying that he kind of doesn't reveal a whole lot, and so I guess it must have been somebody had Slater on their interview, and was talking about Masai, just kind of keeping things close to the vest, and it turned out that he wanted a lot more for Anunoby than what the market was willing to pay for him. So unfortunately, nothing more than total to the Raptors.
I don't think it's that surprising. I think they're really an off-season type move team anyway, for the most part. And hey, Pirtle's going home. There's a lot of going home going on. Crazy. Garrett's coming back. Dinwiddie, Pirtle. There's a lot of guys. Wow. Yeah. 2020 draft to get a Supermax. Halliburton? I think Halliburton might get that.
Yeah. Turned out to be not that deep of a draft, huh?
Well, hey, Wiseman could get it in Detroit. Come on. We're hoping Wiseman has a great career. No one here is wishing that it doesn't work for Wiseman, I think. Obviously you don't want to lose to him or something like that, but on the other hand, NBA is a brutal league with very little sympathy for guys who don't perform. And that's what happens. You get traded. So
where will Westbrook land? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know me, Jay. I don't really predict. I like to sit back and watch things unfold. So wherever he lands is wherever he lands for me. And I have no idea.
Yeah, I think he'll be a pretty valuable player though, if he's bought out, and I'm sure the Jazz are going to buy him out. I don't think he'll ever suit up for the team. Yeah, he might. Who knows? But John Wall going back to the Rockets, unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
Crazy.
Did they update this? There he is. Whew. $47 million. I wonder what that's all about. Team options 6.8. Kind of funny. His contract structure. I wonder what that's all about. Partially guaranteed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
It's kind of a weird number to drop down to, but
yeah.
Could look it up on Spot Track if I felt like the need. So why did Wall end up?
Oh yeah, he's not playing for the Rockets. That's not happening. But
yeah,
I just got it for the contract stuff.
Transactional.
Yeah,
buy it out and then boom, a bunch of money comes off.
Yeah,
keep it nice and low. Who did they send out? Eric Gordon, right?
Right. Yeah.
Let's look at Eric Gordon. It's always kind of cool to see how fat these contracts are. 20 mil. It's always good to, just check to get your, you keep hearing guys are making 20 mil, JP's going to make 28 mil. So you kind of get a sense of where guys rank when you look at salary cap tables. Looking at John Wall to the Rockets, buyout. And Eric Gordon to the Clippers. What do we feel about the Clippers?
He's going back. The Clippers, they need.
They got rid of Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
So what was the net? of the Clippers.
Who did
No
they
more
get?
John Wall.
No more John Wall. No
They
more
just want to get EG, huh?
Yeah, I think they got another point guard. Here, let's look up.
What are they getting all these point guards for? I guess they need a starter and a backup.
Mm-hmm.
But they had so the whole Reggie Jackson, John Wall.
Oh, they got Bones Highland
Experiment. Yeah, thank you. There it is. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Someone said, I'm sorry, I forgot who this is, but someone said the Denver is now the boneless Nuggets.
Reggie went to Charlotte. He'll get bought out. And they're talking about Reggie over to the Suns. Reggie Jackson. Chris Haynes said that.
Yeah.
Chris Haynes said that.
That's plenty of scoring over there. This is something we have to talk about too. Warriors probably had a fair chance at the buyout market for the West until that Durant trade happened. The Suns, whether they want anything or not, are probably now the destination that it's going to get the top of the top buyout guys, unless maybe it's like someone like Kevin Love, who has that real strong, like grew up playing basketball as a child with Klay type thing. Their gravity is going to take in the premier free agents, vet men's over the offseason, that type of thing, as long as Kevin Durant's on that team, because vets just flock to him. It's just the truth. They always have.
Interesting.
That's going to be a little thorn in the Warriors' side in terms of but we should be way up there too,
Would we though? Because if I'm a buyout candidate, other than Kevin Love, who has a relationship with Klay, let's say, I go look at the Warriors and I go, I'm never going to play on this team. So why would I go there?
To the Dubs?
Yeah.
Well, because, you're probably going to have JaMychal Green type minutes. Andre Iguodala, this is his last season. There'll be areas where some pretty good veterans or buyout guys can mix it up, or they won't come, and we'll just have to rely on the guys that we've got. I wonder if we sign Lamb and Jerome, I wonder if we can get Lester Quinones and Quindary Weatherspoon back on the two-way,
I got to use the restroom, but I think the next topic, if you could maybe let's look at the next team that how about the Mavs?
Yeah. Well, that's obviously we haven't seen Luka and Irving play together yet.
Be right back. Yeah.
But we have seen Kyrie Irving play with LeBron, with Jason Tatum, with Kevin Durant. And, for however much I personally dislike his off-court opinions, if we're being nice, he is an incredibly talented player who is not going to mess with the second crown, if you like. It's kind of LeBron likes this, and Kyrie, I think, likes this style of play. And Kobe described it as dual monarchy. There's some videos you can find on YouTube of the Warriors being the golden democracy and the Cavaliers being the dual monarchy, the two crowns of LeBron and Kyrie. So I think that's basically what's going to happen in Dallas as well. It's going to be another like Luka and Kyrie play off one another, and they make all the decisions and move the three other pieces around, or they take over as the number one when either of them sit. But well, let's try and find this track here, just like Rich always does. And unfortunately, I can't put it up for you guys. I'm sure Rich will when he's back. And you have Kyrie, Luka, Tim Hardaway, Bertans, and Christian Wood with Dwight Powell, Reggie Bullock, Max Kleber, JaVale, Ntilikina, Morris, Pinson, and Hardy. Looking up Dallas Mavericks salaries in Spot Track or Hoop Site.
Yeah.
So that's
love it.
Huh?
Who said dual monarchy?
I got that from Kobe. He was doing Cavs versus Warriors finals.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he called the Warriors the Golden Democracy. I think he called the Cavaliers like a dual monarchy. And both LeBron James has traditionally worked best in that sense, and Kyrie's really stuck with that, with him and LeBron, him and Tatum, him and Durant, and him and Luka, which is, man, he's got a pretty good all-time starting five there. Sheesh. It's a lot of talent, man, that he's played with. And I would say, however much I disagree with his beliefs off the court, he's not a ball hog. He doesn't actually get in the way of his teammates on the court. He knows how to fit with these other superstars and still keep a lot of the role players happy. So I think offensively they're dangerous. I don't think they have a high level defensively. As high of a level defensively maybe as some of the other teams. So that would be something for them to figure out. But they're long and talented. Bullock, he's a killer shooter with that.
Yeah.
With that forward.
Mark Cuban has set this up to do some stuff this summer.
Yeah.
Of course, Kyrie, probably want to, see how things go. But let's say even if you fill that up, there's still a lot of zeros down here.
Well, I doubt Kyrie got traded to a place where he wasn't willing to sign an extension. Obviously, you have to see where.
Yeah.
And Tim Hardaway Jr. is on a declining contract. That's high value, man. Bertans, not that big of a hit.
But we'll see. We'll see. If they get first round exit by some,
a lot of these guys are catch and shoot dudes who will play around Kyrie, with Hardaway maybe being the third somewhat creator. And again, I think the question mark there is their defense. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So so far we've done the Suns and the Mavericks, and we're an hour and a half in. So if we're going to get to the other 27 teams, you might have to go a little quicker than that. But just a little bit.
Warriors PR has the latest on Steph to answer Vitor's question.
Talk about the injury update.
Yeah, this is all we got. Will be evaluated after the All-Star break. That's all we got.
Nothing new there.
What was interesting was that this came out right after the Wiseman trade.
Yeah.
So now we're like, okay, we know we're getting 5 second-round picks.
2 weeks for a trade. 3 weeks.
It came out right then, because maybe they knew they were, so they knew at that point they were trying to get GP2, and that would be some big news. So, we better release the Steph Curry news right now. Mm-hmm. Kind of funny.
Yeah.
You always get a little clue from what they're up to.
I would imagine that. So All-Star Sunday night is the 19th, and I would imagine he's out until maybe the very end of February or early March, something like that. I imagine they had a week and a half
Yeah,
around there
I was saying I think it was the
for
last-
conditioning and whatnot.
Right. I'd be happy with March 1st,
Yep.
but we don't really have any information on that.
No, that's just knowing the team and knowing the way they're like, oh well, he's healthy. Now it's time to get him back in shape and back up to condition. I did hear via because I'm gonna use them. I have to say I heard through Locked On Warriors analysis of Brian Sutterer, the doctor, YouTube doctor. Who's
no,
really
I
good.
found that. You don't have to credit them.
Okay, yeah,
Anthony
okay.
Tsai found that one.
All right.
Kudos,
all right.
Anthony. He sent
Yeah.
it to me a long time ago. And,
I'm sorry. I
I
had no
actually
idea.
Put it in our,
Forgive
I
me.
actually put it in our, what do you call it? Put it somewhere. Oh yeah, I put it in our article right here.
Oh, that article.
You gotta check Discord for the latest sometimes. Current on Steph Curry. No, not this one.
The thing is, it looked like it was basically a bad bruise, and a couple strains.
So we found out from Brianna that Steph was hoping that it'd be a bone bruise. Instead, we had a couple tears on ligaments and stuff, as it turned out. But in the process of putting this together, I hit up Anthony and I go, hey, do you know any doctors? Because I want to get Nirav Pandya's right here. Nirav Pandya's assessment of a bone bruise, and he was like, oh, go check out Brian Sutterer. So thanks to Anthony, I saw that one.
Yeah,
but that one actually it was nice for Brian to show you. He did 2 videos. So the first one was before the injury,
I see. Yeah.
before the diagnosis, and he showed the structure of the knee, all the tiny little ligaments. It's kind of cool, but he didn't talk about bone bruise at all. So I went and DM'd Dr. Pandya, and he gave us a little thing on bone bruises, which was great. And then they said, oh, here's the MRI, here's the tears. And then Sutterer did another video that talked about all of that. And that was actually a really informative one that went into all kinds of detail. So that, yeah. Anyways, you were saying?
Yeah, I was just saying it doesn't seem like it's going to be such a major injury. Like it doesn't sound like it's going to be like that. Was it partially torn MCL that he had in 2016 in his right knee that really seemed to limit him laterally. It looks like this is a little bit of pain and swelling, and once he's back, hopefully it won't continue to affect him until the offseason. And now it is in his left knee, right? Which is the knee, obviously, for right-handed shooter, especially a slanted, diagonal right-handed shooter like Curry that takes a lot of the impact. And obviously, driving to the right is pushing off that knee a lot. But with Steph's level of conditioning, his pain tolerance, his understanding of exactly what his body's going through. I mean, he's one of but that's one thing about superstars. They really know their body very well, and how to play injured without exaggerating it too much a lot of the times. So I'm hoping that Steph can get a good solid March, April run in there. Hopefully. And I'm also hoping that he's playing like 30 minutes a game, not 38, 40 with this trade. So I do think I have to say I understand that some people, especially Warriors fans, will say, well, the Lakers are just completely done. But they made some interesting moves here. They really retooled their team. D'Angelo Russell's is
an upgrade for them for
Yeah,
sure.
he's another ball handling
have
guy
any
who can
shooting.
actually shoot.
Yeah.
Westbrook wasn't providing a huge amount of defense. I don't think it'll be that different. Obviously, they lose some rebounding and passing. Probably the passing's similar, but the rebounding isn't quite the same. But adding Vando, as they like to call him in Salt Lake.
Really? Vando?
Jared Vanderbilt. Yeah.
They don't call him Vandy. It's Vando.
No, not Vandy. Vandy sounds weird. Yeah, I know.
Sure. Okay, Utah people. Whatever.
Well, I think it might have been a Minnesota thing too. So.
Oh, okay.
Where it snows, it grows.
We might as well talk about Minnesota there, but you're going from Lakers. We can talk about Lakers, Minnesota, and then where
so they added Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley, who and Mo Bamba. Along with Anthony Davis, who's obviously hurt.
Yeah.
I was listening to
doesn't look right.
Bill Simmons and Ryan Russillo. Bill Simmons, whatever you think about him, he really is good at body language type stuff. And he and those guys are saying Westbrook looked upset because he entered the top 10 in assists on the night that LeBron became the all-time leading scorer. No one cared. And also that he was just like, you guys have been trying to trade me. But they pointed out that Anthony Davis hardly celebrated and just looked not just hurt and stuff like that, or anything, or like coming back from injury, but also just kind of tired, or I don't know what that could have been. Westbrook, that could have been, all the pressure that comes from playing for the Lakers along with LeBron. It could have just been an off night. I don't know what it was, but that's a tough, as we can see this year, just a little bit of off chemistry, which it's not it's not something we've really experienced much. The Warriors, is it? This weird kind of lack of energy type thing. I can't.
Good point.
Even after 5 straight finals, we had a lot of energy, So this has been a weird time with Steph and Klay where, they just look bored and lazy and tired, and Anthony Davis is looking that way. But this Lakers team is improved. They're improved. They're a much more dangerous team now than they were before. I don't think they're title contenders, but you can't just think about contender lottery. Like there's lottery teams, there's play-in type lower seed teams that are happy to be there. There are threats to knock off a contender even if they can't go the whole way themselves. And then there are the contenders and even favorites, right? I think the Lakers went from lower level playoff team to a threat to knock off kind of any contender. I don't think they're going to go 4 rounds personally with this team, but they're a threat to knock off somebody good. I'm just so glad we're going to watch him scratch his head still. Oh man.
Hold on. Last thing about the Lakers was what I thought was kind of funny was so LeBron breaks the record, right? And he's going around like this, and he's all alone, like the team. And there was I think it was Thomas Bryant was nearby, and who ended up getting traded. But anyways, he was nearby, and he was like, oh, and they were all kind of figuring out, should I go and like hug him or but it seems like a one-man type thing. If I don't recall the details of when Steph is that normal, or I don't know. When
Steph did it, he screamed, the whole team rushed.
The whole team was hugging him, right?
Yeah, and he was openly crying. And LeBron started to cry too.
Yeah. But it was such an individual thing. It was a different dynamic.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here watching it and going, that's La La Land. That's the difference between La La Land and the Warriors.
No, don't even try that. You want to watch a city celebrate? Go watch some Kobe Bryant video. I'm not taking that, Rich. It's LeBron James. It's LeBron James style of leaving teams, of everything is about win right now, of you're just trade assets. I'm sorry, I'm just stealing that right from the Bill Simmons thing too. They mentioned that, but I think it's true. He's an incredible player, But it's got to be very stressful playing with him. Very stressful.
Wow.
A lot of guys can't handle it. And you know what? He's been successful. 10 finals, 4 rings, 4 finals MVPs, 4 MVPs, you know. Constantly in the chase until injuries hit him these last couple of years. But there's a payoff to that, and I'm not talking about chasing stats. I'm talking about you are always expendable, and he might leave anyway. That's tough. Steph, not that way at all. You are probably going to leave him rather than him ask for you to be traded for the most part, you know? It's just also, you know, when we're getting a little off topic here, but when LeBron's inducted in the Hall of Fame, what team is that going to be with? You know, the Heat, to where he won 2 rings, assuming you know that he doesn't win it. I mean, if he wins 3 rings with the Lakers, it'd be the Lakers. If he goes back to Cleveland and wins 2 rings there, it's going to be them. You know, but right now it's like it's probably the Cavs, but he left them twice, and it's just but he's not the revolutionary idealist that Steph is. He's the king, and there's some Game of Thrones going on around, you know. Roman history, you know, with knives under every cloak.
Interesting. Okay, so So
anyway,
don't forget.
Rui Hachimura, forgot to mention him.
Oh,
also another.
I like him.
Yeah, not bad.
So Nicole, So I interrupted you right when you were saying your love of GP2's head scratch. So
right, yeah,
there we go.
It's back.
See you. And I have a really good video that I saw from someone who works for the Warriors that was like a welcome back one of Gary Payton, and I think I don't know where I'm going to put that. Maybe in the YouTube stories by tomorrow. So check that out because it has copyrighted music in it. So I can't play that right now.
Sure.
And I don't know where else to put it. So you guys check out the YouTube stories tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And
please splash the like button. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Speaking of which, the Jabbar didn't interact with him as much, but the funny part was when they did the Larry David. It's on our YouTube stories right now. You can go. I posted it that night where they did the Larry David thing, and Kareem had that Larry David look. It was hilarious. I can't even really describe it. It was just
That was an incredible record, though. Set 8 months before LeBron was born. Isn't that crazy? That's when Kareem became the all-time leading scorer.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of 8s, 38, and this and that 38. Somebody mentioned that.
Really?
We're on Twitter.
38,008.
He's 38 years old. It happened like 38 days after whatever. It was crazy.
Interesting. Well, math everywhere in the universe, man. Crazy.
All right. So we can keep talking about these teams.
Yep.
How about Minnesota real quick? Or
Minnesota.
And Kelly Olynyk, where is he?
He's still in Utah.
Okay. Thank you.
They didn't trade him.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay. But Utah's got some height. Conley. Yep. Conley back with Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Don't you believe it?
Yep.
It's just my luck. So he's a great teammate. One of the few guys who would really find Rudy the ball, which might be a reason that they're going for that. Also, could you scroll over to Karl Anthony Towns' contract these next couple of years? Because boy, that's a little too much for what he's produced.
Wow. That goes up.
I think D'Lo getting traded. I think that means Karl Anthony Towns is probably this is probably not going to be his franchise to run. Might stay, he might not, but they're not. They got D'Lo, if you remember, and gave us Wiggins and Kuminga for him to appease Towns. Really, probably they also thought that they were going to get Devin Booker because there was a video of them sitting together, all three of them saying, "Oh, we'll all be on one team at some point."
Right.
Which probably isn't going to happen. But
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we could segue to is this the death of the super team? I feel like it's the death of the super team. Are you ever going to get three buddies? Go, okay, let's go to Miami, or let's go to
Suns
Brooklyn.
might be a bit of a super team. Yeah. A little bit.
But it wasn't. I mean, okay, yeah, you could call it a super team in that they have.
Oh, you talk about like a free agent, all trades.
Like LeBron, Wade, and then the third guy's Bosh, and then you had Kevin Durant, Kyrie. The third guy happens to be DeAndre.
Yeah. So you're not talking about like 2017 Warriors in that was one free agent superstar adding to an organic, or a trade like what happened with the Suns.
I think there will be no more friends teaming up at some destination.
Nasri to kill us.
I think it's because the Nets have proven
they're not always that effective because basketball needs chemistry, and you also need to know whose team it is.
That's chemistry. I'll give them that.
But it's not. But
the rest of the team, that part's hard.
Most of the time. Well, I'm not sure how successful these big three super teams have been, really. The Celtics won 1, the Heat won 2, barely. The Rockets. The Nets didn't win anything. They won 7 playoff games, which is insane. What's another big one? I know I'm blanking on something here. They don't always work out the way that you think they would. And organic teams tend to be able to fight. They have something to fight for more than just because if you team up out of the blue, kind of a little mercenary style, easy come, easy go, you leave mercenary style. So super old duo with Paul and Durant, but pretty young with Booker and Ayton still. They didn't have to give up DeAndre Ayton. What did the Nets get back? What did they get?
Yeah,
I don't know how they justify this trade. I could have gotten them more for Kevin Durant. I don't want to be too arrogant, but really, it's a pretty easy.
Yep.
I mean, I like and Kyrie Irving, Dorian Finney-Smith. So, man, you know what? Let's look at the Nets. Let's see what they did.
Even though I don't want to look at the Nets.
No,
they're
not a contender.
They're doomed, and it starts at the top. And
please, dude, my aunt just went to her first Nets game. She really fell in love with basketball because Katie was there. It's really sad.
Yeah.
It's just they were 17-2 like a week ago.
Katie
got hurt.
No, right? Oh,
yeah. And then now everyone's gone except Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is there to save the day, Brooklyn.
Oh boy.
Jeez. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry. And
we looked at Minnesota a little bit. Well, actually, we haven't started looking at Minnesota. So Edwards is going to get a fat contract, right?
I think this is Edwards' team now. Now that D'Lo got traded, that's a sign that hey, Cat, you're 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You might stay, you might not, but we're building this team around Edwards now. If they don't, then that's a pretty Minnesota thing to do. If you get what I mean. So, a bunch of solid role player. I like Naz Reid. Wow, he's probably going to get a bit of a contract coming up next year. Austin Rivers, fighting dudes in shirts who aren't even on the court.
Hilarious.
What did he say, man? Gosh.
Yeah.
He must have really said something mean because, Yeah, I really like Anthony Edwards. I was hoping that we could have drafted him number 1 or number 2 in 2020. But
what I learned from Austin Rivers is that his name carries more weight than Mo Bamba's in Orlando. So that's what I learned, apparently, according to
Mo Bamba's gone now, so he's on the Lakers.
Yeah. So for sure he does.
Yeah.
Oh,
Coach's kid, you know.
we could digress a little. Nicole owns the show right now because she's doing good commenting, but I think we're done talking about Minnesota. It's Anthony Edwards' team now. But back to
I'm sorry. I do like Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
I think he's a really solid piece.
You know, though, I think the whole you're not finding out from your people. There's two things. One, kind of just how you run your crew, your front office. Do you try and keep things a little bit as transparent as you can? Or it'd be interesting to find out from Wiseman, when did he know that he was, because maybe a few weeks ago, Bob Myers says, hey, we might be, just so you know. And then, maybe it's a culture thing, because the other side of the coin is that, well, we're in the age of social media. So Damion Lee letting Bridges know, that doesn't surprise me at all. And I don't.
It doesn't mean they weren't. It doesn't mean they weren't right about to contact him as soon as it was over and someone tweeted out. Shams tweeted out this rumor had just gone through before it had been accepted, and the team isn't able to officially talk to him about it until it's proved. All that type of stuff. But on the other hand, some teams are full of people who are good at their job, but don't really. They're full of Twitter people. They're full of people who see these really talented, intelligent, special people who rise to the top of basketball. Mostly, they're really interesting, cool people, it seems like. And they just see them as commodities, so that you don't. The boss doesn't call you to let you know you're fired, do they? Generally, So
never been.
It could also be just. Well, lucky for you, Rich. But it could also be kind of just incompetent, callous disrespect too. You never know. Not saying it is, but not saying it isn't.
Oh, what's going to happen?
But man, Matt Ishbia, what a first day. What a first day as the owner of the Suns.
Yeah, that is. Vitor's going to go get a Wiseman jersey. That's kind of cool. Anyway, yeah.
Wiseman really had one of the worst starts to his career of any young prospect I can think of.
Oh, in terms of the injury?
The one thing he had was that he went to a good team, or a team with good chemistry first, that then became the champion the next year. But he got suspended for a bunch of games in college.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
For like nothing, for Penny Hardaway helping him out with a little bit of student housing or something like that.
Yeah.
When the NCAA wasn't paying him anything and profiting, the name, image, likeness, and all that. They went from getting 0 to getting nil, by the way. So do what you will with that. But plays 3 games. Then COVID hits. Doesn't get normal interviews or workouts that like every other prospect ever has gotten.
Yeah.
Goes to a team that has Steph Curry that doesn't really have a fit, largely because I think on the day Klay Thompson tore his Achilles, has a strange, it was a wrist injury first and then a knee injury. That just extended and extended and extended. And there's all this talk about him, and he's, some people are just enraged that the Warriors are ruining him. Other people are enraged that he's so soft. And it's just all this stuff went wrong for him. And I really, calling it a cutthroat deal, that's almost, it's almost like it was almost not in real life sense, but in a basketball sense, kind of this tragic comedy, of just things going wrong. And I really feel bad. For him.
Yeah.
In terms of Wiseman, I don't think he really had the opportunity to develop here. Rollins is number 2. So, what would Gary Payton?
20, right? Get him 20.
20, maybe.
Yeah. For Gary Payton Sr.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the whole thing about GP and his dad? I think they're getting closer. It wasn't the most lovey-dovey, but then I think over time it's been better.
Really? I didn't realize they had a strained relationship at all.
Not so much strained, but it wasn't, like I said, just I would call it lovey-dovey. It wasn't on the level of like Dell and Steph. I would say that. But it was more distant in terms of but I don't really know. So I'm just trying to fill time right now.
SLCC. So that was the first college he went to basketball wise, was Salt Lake City Community College. Or Salt Lake Community College. Where my mom taught for a while.
There's a few Gary Paytons out there, right? Like he's one of those with the George Foreman, with the whole bunch of George Juniors, a lot of Gary Payton Juniors out there.
I don't think so.
I don't remember the exact number of sons that he has. There's at least one other one, but so anyways, my point being, is he going to pick 20 because of Gary Payton Sr.'s his dad, or is he not going to pick 20 because of his not as, the analogy of the how do you call it? The SAT verbal, the old SAT verbal analogy of Dell is to Steph Curry as Gary Payton Sr. is to Gary Payton the second, Gary Payton II. It's not the same. Not the same at all. So I wonder.
No, Gary Payton II is the only Gary Payton that is the son of Gary Payton, and he went to SLCC. It wasn't a different name. That's him, Gary Dwayne Payton II.
No, there's another Gary Payton Jr. out there. I'm pretty sure, but
not of Gary Payton Sr. I mean, not of the NBA player.
Man, where did I find that then?
I don't know.
Okay, well I'll find that. I'll find that and get back to you. But
okay, I want to know: are there 2 GP2s out there? Maybe we should sign the other one. Why not?
Yeah, well, okay. Let's look it up. Does anybody out there know Gary Payton Sr.? Family. Look up family stuff.
It's not just toxic. It's like.
Oh, Payton has another. Oh, I know. With the
Gary
different
the second,
mother.
Julian Raquel.
Oh, there you go. 3 children. Gary second. Gary Payton also has another son named Gary Payton Jr. with a different mother. Oh, okay.
Weird.
There. I confirmed it, although it's...
All right. He's different. Still a SLCC Bruin, though. This Gary Payton.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's Gary Jr. and the other one's, and he's Gary Payton the second. So he's the second junior. That's weird. Yeah.
It's crazy. He played for the Wizards. All right.
Yeah, we don't have to face GP2 guarding Steph at all. That's also great.
Goodness.
That's really nice. You want to look at the Blazers, maybe?
What do other people want to do? I think we're good if we start to. Oh, we're approaching 2 hours. Hey,
yeah.
Thanks. Well, we could talk about anything, people.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to talk about? Because we're cool, and I think the only time we'll really end this is if we dip under 100 concurrence or something like that. Because we've had, always good to have you here, Dean. Trust me, you have no idea. Like, it's great. You're the motor.
Come on. All
But
right.
okay, then we will go ahead and talk about who are we talking about? What team?
Blazers.
Okay. Yeah, because they got Matisse.
Uh-huh. So obviously Lillard, Simon's good, Grant, Nurkic,
And Kevin Knox. Yeah.
Wow. No, I think they move Knox for
Really?
I think they moved Knox for no, I guess they didn't, huh? They have Kevin Knox in the T-Side. And Cam Reddish. It's interesting. You see a little Shaded Sharp is really, I think he's really good too.
Where was Cam Reddish last night? Is he injured?
He was on the Knicks and got traded for Josh Hart.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go.
Josh Hart got the news as he was warming up.
There you go. Josh Hart, right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, the crazy thing in the pregame, the play-by-play of Portland was saying that the most likely guy to leave is Josh Hart, just because he had kind of a fat contract, I think. 12 mil or something. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Okay. So wow.
Well, I think this
they got some wings.
They do have some nice wings. Again, Shaded Sharp is a rookie, so you don't know how he's going to respond. But thank you, Nicole. But I think this team is got shooting, a little bit more defense.
Yep.
They can play kind of with Grant as a 4 and play big with Nurkic, or put Grant at the 5 and play small ball. I just have to say I really appreciate Dame. A lot's been made out of his loyalty, but it's really hard for someone that good to be in a fairly, a little bit smaller market. It's not that small. Nike's right there, but just have that old school, mentality. I hope it becomes more and more prevalent. If it's reasonable. I don't want guys to be stuck in situations which are terrible, but I also don't like when times get tough, some players just flee for greener pastures or whatever. Obviously that's up to the individual player, but this looks like a little bit more modern team with size around Lillard, which they haven't had in a long time. Real size at every position around Lillard.
And also the Blazers made the announcement I saw on Twitter today that we're not trading Dame Lillard, so don't even bother asking about him. So that was cool.
I had no thought that he would get traded today.
Yeah, exactly.
Although this would have been the year to do it right now. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, with that contract, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. 58-63. Whoa.
Yeah.
How many likes do we have? 85 likes. Hey guys, let's get it over to 100. Let's get triple digits likes.
Oh yeah. We know you guys can do it.
Okay.
So what do we think about the Wiseman draft now? Well, right now we're trying to go through some of the contenders, but I'm just touching it real quick, if that's all right, Rich.
Yeah. I was the one that said he was a no-brainer pick back in 2020, so I've got
first it was a little difficult because Klay just tore his Achilles, as we were saying. And that happening right then, it was like, well, that threw not just that season, but you don't know how someone's going to respond to that. And I think they went with the safest pick, the pick that all the commenters online basically were wanted. I didn't really want him, but at that point, I was hoping that we could get. I was hoping Anthony Edwards would fall to us, looking at maybe some other prospects, but I totally understood why the Warriors went with what they went for, and who knows if Wiseman's a 3-year college player getting drafted by that team. that it could have worked out, but there wasn't really, you like Tyrese Halliburton coming out of Iowa, but it's just hard to justify at that point in time.
At number 2, yeah.
Number 2, you could trade down, but we just had this terrible season winning wise. A lot of fun in terms of humor and the Warriors, we just went to 5 straight finals, and now we can barely win 15 games.
Mm-hmm.
I think we make that selection most of the time without knowledge of the future.
Yep.
I think the best thing that came out of it was the Warriors not having such a huge ego that they went, whoops, Wiseman doesn't really fit. Boom. That's one ego hit. We shouldn't have gotten rid of Gary Payton. That's another ego hit. They just didn't care. They made the move. Lacob obviously signed off on it. Now they saved a lot of money. It was like $7 million this year. We were talking about this earlier. $7-8 million this year and 30-something million next year. To get Gary Payton, who's a better fit for a guy who wasn't playing and everything. But drafting is hard. That's one of the reasons I was mentioning all the second round picks that people want, and and all these first round draft picks. Like, they're not as valuable as you think. Draft picks, really, you're lucky. Okay, so we know that 36% is great from 3, about 48% overall, about 52 maybe percent from 2. Those are like really good statistics. What do you think a good percentage on just getting rotation players is in the draft? It's, depending on how high you're picking, it should be higher. But if you're picking high, your team probably is not that great, or it wasn't that great a while back. And if you start being better and you're still picking high, how do you find minutes? Drafting is really, really hard. It's really hard. And we got one of the most talented players in that draft. He's huge, runs well. You want to talk about his hands or his durability. Okay. But good shooter, certainly wasn't a bad rebounder. Never love his personality. That dude I never heard him complain once. Really. Did he ever complain at all? I don't remember it.
Not many guys that put on the blue and gold do.
Well, so. Kuminga and Poole kind of do. Wiseman didn't. In their own way, they're not loudly complaining, but you could see they're a little frustrated and stuff. Wiseman almost cared too much. I remember you saying that yesterday.
No, Wise would be mad at himself for bad play.
Yeah.
So there is that I would, love to fix if I was the coach.
Right, but you like that in someone. That humble, team-oriented, caring a lot. I also remember him celebrating that championship. Like, he really, really cared. And I'm glad at least that he's got a ring on his finger when we're sending him off. When we're sending him off. He's got a championship ring with the Warriors, and no one will ever take that away. You playing or not, he was on the team. He was important. So drafting is really, really hard. And even when you get a good player with talent, and Wiseman is going to be an NBA player if he can stay healthy. There's no question about that.
But I saw that. Oh man, I saw something on Twitter where a radio guy who I actually like was talking about how he's going to be playing in Greece or China, and it's like, wait a minute.
No, there's no way.
There's no doubt he'll make at least veteran minimum somewhere. Absolutely no doubt. How could you not?
I think it's unlikely he gets a vet minimum. I think he's probably going to prove himself without like, how do I play alongside Steph, Klay, and Draymond, where I never get the ball and I never run pick and roll.
You said it's hard to draft. It's hard to play with Steph and Klay. It's also hard to do that.
as a large post up pick and roll center when they don't ever run any of that stuff and like to play small ball. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. It's really, really tough. And we hit on Poole and Kuminga already. I think Moody's going to be really good. So,
and the last thing I'll say about this whole thing, well, we should go back and say, oh, we should have just signed GP2 in the summer. Well, we ended up this circuitous path. We ended up actually saving more money. And had we signed GP2, wouldn't we have probably not spent even more money to get?
There's no
Donte?
chance we have Donte.
Right.
And GP2 and Donte is. I texted this to you earlier. I don't think people realize that is going to be hell on other teams trying to bring the ball up the court. You got those two. I don't want to call them bulldogs. Those guys are wolves defensively, man. Really. Yeah. That's excellent. And I really, really hope there's some way that we can bring Donte back. I really I really, really like the way he's been playing a lot. You want to be you have a GM wannabe. Oh well, man, I'm a player wannabe. I'm a coach wannabe. I'm a GM wannabe. But I try and I don't know, learn the ins and outs of. There's something about, and I don't mean to be rude, but there's something about stupid people that makes them think that they can do absolutely anything better than experts once they learn I forget what that's called, once they learn a small nugget about it. And that's fine. That's probably just human nature. But they don't ever want to go beyond that.
Yeah.
Why? Don't you want to actually be good? If you actually care this much to be enraged or euphoric, I guess, don't you want to, not propose trades that can't happen? Like trade for LeBron when that's not allowed by the contract that he just signed. And I don't know. I don't really want to be negative. I don't want to make fun of people. It's just it'd be nice if people were more curious, open to
right. Well, okay.
Open to learning and
open to learning, exactly.
Yeah.
And so going back to, I would rather, instead of saying, oh, we there's a lot of articles out now that the Warriors get GP2 back. Therefore, the Warriors have admitted they screwed up on Wiseman and all of that. They screwed up on the 2 timeline thing. It's just like, why do you always have to point fingers and stuff and find blame? The way I look at it is I look back at, first of all, picking Wiseman at number 2 at the time, in that environment, in that moment, that made sense because you had the footage of Wiseman at the Jordan Brand Classic and he's going 94 feet, as we've actually seen him do a couple times, notably in I think the Brooklyn Nets game, his first game, went 94 feet. But yeah,
he was great his first game. Yeah,
you just that's not going to be something sustainable, especially if you're injured and then you go through all these things, and that's not really sustainable thing when you're playing on the same court as Steph Curry, right? A guy that can do that. It's just it's tough. But
Klay and I believe Draymond were out that game too, so it was yeah.
But then also just think of it in terms of what can I learn today? I think the main thing that I've learned is the NBA back in 2020 is actually very different than NBA Thursday, February 9th, 8:44 p.m. Pacific time right now. It's just, we kind of knew back then that wings were the thing. Look at the Blazers. They went and got so many wings right now, and people are drafting more wings, and it's just completely different. And who knew that we would actually be playing regular season games in with so much parity, chasing wins. And when you chase wins, then you're always going back to tight rotation. And when the tight rotation happens to have been the small ball team that won you a championship, suddenly you're just playing small ball a lot, and you want to shake up things and try and get these guys mentally to snap out of it. You go even smaller. You bench Looney and you start Jordan Poole to try and, against Boston, the team that you played in the final. So it's, who the heck could have predicted this on draft day 2020? That's impossible. So why be mad about it?
Well, the only other player we really could have taken, because Edwards went one, was
Melo.
Was LaMelo Ball, and I'm sorry, I don't see that working. He looks good because he's on Charlotte and doesn't have to share the team with anyone else.
At that point in time, you could envision Wiseman as a starter. There was no way Melo was starting. Absolutely not. And not only is he not going to start, you're gonna hand over the whole offense to him in terms of the second unit, or he's still got to play.
He's been kind of injured a little. Also, Wiseman didn't do it. I really like James Wiseman. Really appreciative of him and the way he played, but he also didn't get it done himself. That's the other thing. That's the NBA. You don't have 5 years to get things done for most players. You never know what happened. JP probably isn't on the team. He might not be in the league. I'm just kidding. But
I love that.
Yeah.
LaMelo would screw with JP evolution.
Yep. Definitely want to be talking about his cats being on commercials, looking for baddies, winning chips, and hitting 40-footers for this team. So I don't know. I'm happy. It went the way we got Donte, and we didn't give up a player who's playing for us for Gary Payton.
You could almost think of it as we drafted GP2.
Again,
in a way.
Yet again, we drafted him. We drafted this guy 3 times. Signed him, cut him, signed him again, let him go, traded for him. So
cool.
Maybe share minutes with the VAR balls, kid. That's the other thing.
That was a factor.
Yeah.
The VAR. Yeah.
We didn't know that he would get out of the way as much as he has.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I don't think the team knew that. But they're very selective about who they bring into the locker room.
Very important for us. Very, very important. Charlotte doesn't have any culture, so they
they got Mike.
Open canvas, empty canvas. Yeah, Mike. Yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to build a team.
Yeah.
Just ask Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys see there's going to be an Air Jordan movie starring Ben Affleck and Matt Damon? I put it on our Instagram stories. Go look at that.
What?
Yeah.
Which one of them's playing Mike?
Amazon. Oh, it's great. So Matt Damon plays Sonny Vaccaro, and Ben Affleck plays Phil Knight, and they're talking about, I want to. You want us to do what? You want us to sign a rookie? And then Sonny Vaccaro goes to the, it's all dramatized, obviously. They even say inspired by true events. Therefore, a lot of it's fiction. But anyway, Sonny Vaccaro goes to the Nike shoe designer. I need you to make the best basketball shoe ever. Oh, who's this for? Michael Jordan. And, the designer's like, who the hell's that?
Yeah,
so anyway.
Sure. Like no one knew who Michael Jordan was after those Olympics. But whatever. That's strange, man. That's they're making a movie about his shoes.
Yeah.
That's pretty impactful. You have to be impactful if someone makes a movie about your shoes.
Oh, and Viola Davis plays Michael's mom.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What's her name?
She's in everything.
Deborah or Dolores, something like that. But MJ's mom. Forgot her name.
Oh, right. I can't remember.
Well, let's see.
Yep. Check out our
Jazz
description.
probably on the tank path.
Oh yeah, so the race for
Sonics don't
Victor,
exist.
Houston's racing very quickly for that Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, Houston, Detroit, and Charlotte are probably they got that locked up. I don't think anyone can really.
San Antonio.
San Antonio, yeah.
So it's these 4 teams. Out of those 4 teams,
Yeah, so they probably have that number 1 pick locked up. One of those 4. Then the
who would
others
you
try and
want?
get in the top 4 for Wemby.
Yeah, who would you
Uh,
want to get Wemby?
Well, definitely not Houston because,
Why?
well, I'm a Jazz and Warriors fan. That's why.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's why I can't. Sorry, Ryan B. out there, if you're watching, and Benyama.
No,
I
I don't. I
I
mean,
don't want Houston or San Antonio to get him.
San Antonio wouldn't mind because I think he'd be great with Pop. The international thing.
I would mind because they're in the West.
Yeah, I like that organization though. But
Gotcha.
I would say, I'll say Detroit so he can play. I mean, Wiseman, Wembanyama. That's a modern Twin Towers,
I'll just say Charlotte because I feel bad.
Yeah, play with Jordan. I don't care. All of them are fine. We're not getting him, so we're gonna have to go through them, I guess, at some point. Anyway, or face off against them.
So I actually don't think the character of Michael Jordan is in that movie. I think they kind of avoid showing him, but I'm not sure. So question marks. I'm not sure. He's not in the trailer. The character of Michael Jordan is not in the trailer.
Yeah.
All right.
The Hornets also have Mr. Wardell Stephen Curry Sr. as their play-by-play guy, so that could be fun. Little Curry family. I don't mind. I guess Houston. All right. I don't want to be.
No.
I don't want to say no, but
Houston's got enough top picks. They've got.
Yeah, he's gonna take away minutes from Şengün, man.
They got. Yeah, aside from Jabari and Jalen, who isn't Jabari a top 3 pick?
Yeah, it was.
Yes,
3 or 4.
They got enough top 3 picks, and Şengün is solid. That's a good pick.
I liked him a lot. I really liked the old school
lower pick, but yeah. So Charlotte's how many top 5 picks does Charlotte have? Melo and anybody? That's it.
Yeah. They got some. They got Rozier and Hayward, right? Guys like that, but no one that you want in.
Yeah.
Just
if San Antonio wasn't in the West, I would say San Antonio. I don't want to go up against them too much.
I just want Pop to have someone.
Yeah. I get you. Yeah, I get the sentimental.
I mean, for Steve Kerr too. And
I might change my mind. Change my mind.
It's a little. That organization's not going to be bad for too long, too. They're gonna be.
Which is why I wouldn't want him to go there. Yeah.
They're kind of Jazz-like, where smaller market, not the biggest free agent destination, but they're always dangerous just because they're really well run.
Yeah.
People talk about Belly.
Nemanja.
Right. Yeah, he was good. He was good for us. Is there another team we really have to be worried about? The Pelicans, I have no idea what to make of them, man. They're really good, and they won a 10-game losing streak, which is bizarre.
Injuries.
Yeah. But are they going to have time to be able to get it together for the playoffs? Probably. There's enough time to go.
They just need to get healthy.
I know Zion and BI are good,
I guess they picked up Josh Richardson.
Yeah, so that's a good role player addition.
Who did they give up?
I don't remember that one. Okay. They have CJ McCollum too.
Yeah, they're unproven.
Mm-hmm. Grizzlies, not a lot of action. I wonder if maybe some organizations didn't want to help them because they talked a whole lot of trash to a whole lot of people.
So you said only the Bulls and the who?
It's
didn't-
only the Bulls and Cavaliers who didn't make any trades.
Okay, so who?
That's what I read online somewhere. I can't remember.
Who did Memphis get? Some rotation guy?
Yeah, it wasn't a big move, and they kept Dylan Brooks.
Wait a minute, the Kings made a move?
Yeah, they must have.
Interesting.
Let's see. I'll try.
Because I know John Dickinson of 95.7, who used to work in the Sacramento market, was saying Sacramento should just kind of sit where they are and see where this team takes them, and then next season see if they can make moves that, because this season's kind of like, are these guys for real? Like, where do they, kind of like the Warriors 2013 playoff run, kind of just see where you're at and then kind of tweak as such.
Yeah, the Kings added Kessler Edwards for
really
the rights to a player who's not in the league in cash. So it's kind of probably just a cash dump for the Nets. Not a huge move for the Kings there. But
he's pretty solid though, right? This kid.
Yeah, he's a solid enough young guy for them to take a shot at. A little depth, little length.
Wait, where was he drafted?
He was drafted by the Nets, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Maybe not.
I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about this too. Toronto, who didn't make that many moves, but we could have apparently gotten OG Anunoby for Kuminga if we'd thrown him in and others, which is meaningless because I have no idea what that means. And Klay, I don't know, So I don't know what and others means. But I don't see a big need to trade Kuminga for Anunoby.
No,
seems like a lateral move that would upset people and bring in a better defender, probably not as good of an offensive player. And man, I just love JK, and I wouldn't move him for anybody realistic. There'd have to be an all-star or two under your belt for me to even listen to that call. Seriously, if I was in charge of it. I value him really highly, and he's grown by leaps and bounds every month. He's only been in the league 2 seasons, but I love the way he's been playing. I love the aggressiveness. His passing has been really good. He is not rebounding the ball at all, and that's okay because I think it's maybe learn not to foul and then learn how to be physical in that sense again. But I think he has every opportunity to rebound and just a very tough player mentally. And as you might expect, growing up in the Eastern Congo and having to come here at 13 years old. Again, when people have been through real stuff, basketball pressure doesn't exist. It's a game. It doesn't matter. And I like the way Kuminga approaches it. So we got GP2. We could have had Anunoby. I'm glad we didn't give up Kuminga. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's
good. Yeah,
anywhere but up. He's going up. I hope, but not to another city. I hope.
What's next? Anything else?
And way not enough salary value at just in that sense to justify it.
Any other team you want to go through? Why isn't Moody playing?
Let's see. The Bucks got
the Bucks. You want to look at the Bucks?
Well, they're. I mean, the Celtics looks like the West is the conference to beat yet again.
Yeah,
because it's looking like the Celtics and Bucks and Sixers, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Is there anybody else?
Here you go. I'll be right back. Quick restroom break for me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
They're always a little dangerous. Knicks, Hawks, Bulls, Raptors. I don't see Washington or the Pacers moving up into that. So Cleveland's not bad. Cleveland's not bad. But it's Brooklyn's out. No, they're not going to win anything. No offense, but they're going to start. They'll probably start off a little bit strong because people are going to underestimate their fight, and people will start taking them seriously. I think they'll. Yeah. So we're talking about Moses real quick here in the comments. Still learning. Moses hasn't gotten enough minutes really throughout the season consistently to really carve out that niche for himself. Yeah, it's. I can see what you're saying, like ones and twos, not big enough to guard the other guys. We have, let's say that bench that I was talking about earlier is a lineup that we actually put out there, right? It's Poole, DiVincenzo, Moody, Kuminga, Looney. In that case, I think you really want to play Moody probably as the Wiggins replacement, where Wiggins really is help defense. It seems like to me, help defense or hello background noise there from Rich. Is either help defense or guard the best 2-3. So I think you just ask him to guard his own position, twos and threes, who aren't super quick like ones or faster twos like a Jordan combo guard like Jordan Poole, or just stick in the jersey of the best wing who's out there when he's playing. Point of attack, fouling a little too much. Needs to play perfect. Unfortunately, yeah, he's just not getting enough minutes to develop his role, right?
But got to this point where he's not getting enough minutes because he didn't play perfectly earlier, and unfortunately, it's been that kind of a season for us.
I do wonder if there was a little like Wiseman Moody connection going on too in Kerr's rotation, where we're not playing Wiseman, so we're not playing the young guys. Yeah. Now that Wiseman's not here, there's not like, well, we have to sit him because he's not whatever. I wonder if that'll loosen up Moses's minutes a little bit, because if there's anybody that we can look at who we can say who's really a two-timeline player, because Poole's kind of already there. Kuminga's too much of a star for him to really try and be a role player for too long, rise up. But Moses can be a role player. He can be a really good role player and then hopefully still develop after that. So I'm really happy that we were able to keep Moody in these trades. Played bad in the G League. I thought he was lighting the G League up. I feel like he was at least recently. Scoring 25 plus consistently. Yeah.
That's what I literally typed in just now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was I going to say?
And his hustle. He's a real hustler, and I love that. I absolutely love that.
Always dives on the floor.
Yeah.
But also
and got little cuts in his eyes or getting smacked around and like playing through it. It just yeah.
I thought he still scored like 26 at LA, even though they lost or something like that. But anyways, no, I think Moody's been fine in the G, and also I get your
fine in the G,
huh? I get your pause. I get your concern with I guess the Moody Wiseman dynamic, and if one guy isn't playing, then let me not play the other guy as well. But I actually kind of disagree in terms of like, I just think it just turned out that we're in chasing wins mood.
Yeah.
We're in the chasing wins mode, and Foundational Six isn't playing great. Unfortunately, you have to play better than even the Foundational Six, just because it's so hard to crack that lineup and that rotation, and it just didn't happen.
And I think Gary is the, I don't even know what the analogy is for this, but he's just the dude that like comes in and that energy's there with the starters, the leadership and veteran understanding is there. I mean, he's going to be able to get in Moses Moody's ear like, it took me 5 years just to get into this league. You'll be fine. You know,
even
you keep up the hustle, you keep up the everything, man.
He gets the energy part where he's the last guy in the layup lines coming through, and just, you know, JK became that role, but JK
is the glue.
He's actually a quiet guy, so
yeah.
JK had to go out of his way, kind of. I personally think, to be that energy last guy in the layup line. GP, it comes to him naturally. It just
he couldn't stop it if he tried.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's the number one thing we're getting in this trade that you couldn't get anywhere else, no matter who you traded for in this entire league, is that energy that we're going to just naturally have with Gary back.
And Gary knows how to hustle and have energy like that. Anthony Tsai here is saying hustle for rebounds that are already grabbed, loose ball fouls and things like that, mistakes. Well, Gary is a great example of how to hustle like that intelligently. You like players who are smart and tough.
There
are smart players who aren't tough, and there are real tough players who aren't always that smart. Gary brings both of that and teaches it to the other guys. Yeah, he's like, you know what, man? Maybe he's like the bassist, you know, of a band. A little like you can tell some guys are the drummers because they're a little louder. Obviously, singer and keyboardist and guitarist and everything, but the bass keeps the whole thing going. You know, it's kind of like, what's missing? Oh, the bass. That's what's missing. You know, and it just everything. Again, we haven't seen him back. This team could suffer from the same things that we've been suffering from all year. I don't think that's happening, though. Gary isn't enough. I'm not saying he's enough.
We're not doing that again.
It's just
Derwin just got on, but man, we've gone through this 2 or 3 times already in the last 2 hours and 37 minutes. But yeah.
Well, welcome to the channel, Mr. Gaston.
I'm pooped. It's in the description, by the way.
Yeah.
I should put that down.
I'll explain it as succinctly as I can.
Go ahead.
Gary doesn't solve all our problems as one player. He solves almost all of our problems as an emotional team unit. Yeah. He is the guy that is absolutely amazing defensively, doesn't need the ball, tough, smart, efficient scorer, great teammate, and he's like the Energizer Bunny, man. You put him in and things just go right. And honestly, we didn't play him enough last year. So, you know, there's not a team with 0 problems, you know. So, and we got him for a really talented young guy who was not playing at all, really, for us this year or last year. So we didn't give up anything on the court. We gave up. How many total minutes did we give up anyway? You know, I want to look that up real quick.
Oh, what were you saying? How many minutes did we give up?
Yeah. James Wiseman.
Oh, I mean, 0 minutes per game, kind of. I mean, not really on the average, but
played 0 last year and 262 minutes for us this year. That's like 7 games or something like that, if he's playing heavy minutes. Health, obviously, no trade can give us that. I think Payton brings back the hunger. I can imagine Steph Curry's eyes just gleaming when he looks off to Klay and throws a little alley-oop to Payton, and Chase Center blows its top. This is awesome. We should be an amazing defensive team. And we went from honestly a really sad sight of this poor, talented young guy sitting on the bench, not playing in the G League because they don't want him to get hurt for value, not playing on the team because we don't have a place for him, to like Gary's back. That's a 180. Hopefully it's not a 360. Yeah. So you were paying attention to your kids rather than watching our live stream? Get your priorities straight, man. Come on, Jay. Kids. Yeah, whatever.
We only need 4 more likes to get to 100.
Go to a different device. Hey man, we might get Wiseman back again. You guys say we need a big man, a couple years. Maybe we'll trade for him.
Yeah, 101 likes. Thank you.
Let's go.
Just got there.
Drive us nuts. Well, maybe. Who knows? He might drop 40 on us. Wise might drop 40 on us next time we play the Pistons. Have we looked? We've already looked at the Pistons, right, Rich? It's 2 hours and 40 minutes, so I kind of forgot.
I don't think we have. I mean,
we might as well just
competitively, but we've definitely looked at the salary cap a couple times.
Yeah. So right now they'll have Wiseman there. I love Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic. Marvin Bagley, I think probably the Wiseman trade is out. It seemed like the Pistons really wanted him. They could play him together a little bit. Is Kemba Walker even playing for them? I don't remember. Orleans Noel, it's just a backup big. I think Jaden Ivey's been playing pretty well. Jalen Duran, they just drafted Isaiah Stewart. They got a lot of big guys. A lot of young talent there. With the whole Bojan Bogdanovic thing, that didn't happen. But sometimes teams make trades earlier. So they gave up Sadiq Bey, he's a pretty good player. But sometimes when you see teams make trades during the trade deadline or during the offseason, there's already a little, like Kevin Durant, there was a little connection with Phoenix in the offseason. Didn't happen. Something came up, and that already came about. So I do wonder if there's a little Pistons connection that the Warriors are just built up here a little. I wonder about that. And maybe it's not for Bogdanovic. Maybe it's for Alec Burks. I mean, it's a little much, $10 million, but you never know. I don't remember hearing Warriors discuss Bojan openly, which actually made me think it might happen a little more, because I've noticed that unless it's like right near like a day or two before the trade deadline, the more noise there is about a player in a team, lots of times the less likely that is to happen, which is strange. If you hear about it a lot, I've noticed it means it might actually be more of a, what's that called? I don't know. Like speaking to the public, kind of not propaganda or psyops, but you know what I mean. Like,
oh wait, I wasn't following what.
When teams are talking a lot about, like we're talking weeks before, when you hear a lot, rumors about this player and that team, and lots of times it doesn't happen. Probably because they're putting those names out to Well, sometimes it does. I'm not saying it never happens, but yeah. So sometimes the more you hear about a player linked to a team, actually, the less likely it is to happen. I think. Dean Egan works for TNT. Really?
No,
Wow.
no. He was asking about Chris Webber.
Oh, Weber. Yeah.
Ryan is
I haven't
saying,
seen him around as much as he was in the past. I don't know where he went.
TNT.
He went to TNT.
That's what Ryan's saying. Yeah.
Okay, Cunningham, Wiseman, and look, they're gonna get Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson,
Oh yeah, one of the
Thompson,
other.
or who's the other guy?
I don't know. Yeah,
He's got a kind of
gonna have to do my homework.
well,
You-
Tankathon. NBA. They have here number 4. Mock draft. Brandon Miller or Oscar Thompson. So they'll probably get one of those guys, one of these top 5 projected dudes. The mock drafts tend to get the top picks pretty close. You never know what happens later on this season, but they'll have some other. And the great thing about K is he could be a 1, 2, 3. I think he'll be a really, really good player. And Wise, man, he should have no limits on constraints for him right now because Cade's out, and I don't think they have another player on the team as talented as him. So, love his passing skills. Still, would you hire? Hey, maybe he's the backup big man. He's what, 50? Get him out there.
Let's check. Yep, Detroit plays tomorrow.
Crazy.
Gonna have to tune in. Stream East.
Number 2 picks have been in curse in the past, except KD, but KD was passed by the Trailblazers, who also passed on MJ. So, can you imagine how different that organization could be with just 2 different picks? But drafting is really hard. Drafting's really hard.
Yeah, I mean, we had a guy on the live stream. The name escapes me right now, but he worked for Babcock, who's one of the leading scouts in the NBA. Does his own draft stuff for the Basketball News, and he used to work in the front office of Portland, so he was there when they picked Greg Oden, and he was there when Oden turned out to be quote unquote bust with the injury.
A lot of that was injuries. Yeah.
So he was literally there. Guy that we talked to, Doc Martin. That's easy to remember, actually. Doc Martin. Yeah. So we've had him on, and we'll have him on again for this upcoming draft, per usual.
Great.
Guys like that. Yeah. Okay. You guys think Ty Jerome is out?
Right.
No need to apologize, Derwin. My fault. That when you brought up when you first signed on, we've been through that a few times. But with Ty Jerome, we've only really talked about him once.
Yeah.
We were saying that I was thinking that you'd want to go into the playoffs with as many healthy bodies as possible. So maybe you end up actually waiving Rollins. I'm not sure. Nothing against Rollins. I'm just saying transactionally, wouldn't you want to bring 15 healthy bodies? And in doing so,
and a vet there, 6'5" vet. Yeah.
That could give you the spot to give to Ty Jerome, because he's integrated well with the team. And I do think the 15th spot probably should go to Lamb. I think Lamb's a keeper. I said this before. I wrote about it on our website even, that when people were throwing him under the bus for the strong side help off of the corner, well, I blame the point of attack, because You don't, you know, Lamb is there. He's not trusting Jordan Poole on the point of attack. So that's why he's helping off of the strong side corner three. And if you just gotten the point of attack better, like say GP2 was guarding the guy, then you wouldn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just the natural instinct. So Lamb has to turn that off. He has to go to the next level, which says, oh, my natural instinct is to help, which I'm very good at. He's awesome at helping, but I actually have to not do that at that moment in time. I have to read who got beaten and who's coming down the lane, who's in the corner. But he's got all the natural instincts there. That's something to build off of. I can see him 3 years down the line being able to take over for some of that free safety privilege that Draymond has right now. You never know. 3-4 years down. I mean, I can project his defense continuing to improve, and I'm not going to say that wasn't just an awful play by Lamb. I look at that mistake actually as something good, something that's unique about Lamb on defense that you don't normally find in the NBA, honestly. And it all started with the one, I did the video in our X's and O's section. So if you go to youtube.com, Let's Go Warriors, and if you go to playlists and then you got to sort by newest one, you just got to find the Warriors X's and O's. But there's a video breakdown. The first one I did this season was it revolved around Anthony Lamb, because I was amazed. In the span of 15 seconds on defense, he made 5 stops at the rim. I kid you not, 5. He made 5 stops near
We got 2 second-round picks with GP2? What? Really?
What's that?
Dean Egan I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just Dean Egan said we got 2 second-round picks along with GP2.
Interesting. Which press release is that?
Official press release, he said. So you probably find out Warriors. Yeah.
Oh,
and draft picks. Yep. Thank you.
Hey, that's good. When did this come out? Just now? 2 hours ago. Okay.
We were just talking.
Yeah, I know. Where does it say that? But down there. Oh, up here. Oh.
Unprotected 26 and 28 second round picks from the Hawks. Wow, cool.
So we wait. Long
Good to trade him as soon as possible.
Kidding. 4-team trade. It's officially a 4-team trade. See? Yep.
Unbelievable. Well, there was hard. I can't remember one.
Bob. Wow.
I can't remember one major trade that was just 2 teams actually this year, which is like the exact opposite of what it was before. 3 4-team trades were not that common, and now they're the rule. Bizarre. So in terms of Jerome, Lamb, and other guys,
from the Hawks.
First, I have to say I still think the UVM stuff off the court with Lamb makes me very uncomfortable. But if we're strictly talking about on the court, he's got size, shooting. He's a solid defender. He's a two-way for a reason. He's not a perfect player. Probably, I'm not going to see him in the playoffs. Not going to see him in the finals too much if we're getting there. Jerome is fine. Another guard. Little height. Again, he's 6'5", which surprised me. He's listed as 6'5" at least. I think this question has to be answered after the main buyout stuff happens. So, therefore, you probably won't see Lamb play quite as much to keep. He's got 9 games left before he's not allowed to play anymore. Is that right? Something like that.
42 games played so far. Yep.
So that's 8. That's 8 games left that he can play. So you try and stretch that out to around. They're gonna get me, Bruce. They don't like that I'm a Warriors fan down here in SoCal. But I think you wait until the buyout season, see what you can get there before you choose between them. That's what I would do.
Here's Lamb. 42 games played last time I checked. Yep. Hey, well, we're at 2:55, 2 hours 55 minutes. So we got to make it to 3 hours now that we're here. So
might as well.
Yeah. Hopefully Dean won't get raided by the FBI.
Yeah.
In the meantime. And what else?
Not again.
Okay. Any last topics we should cover? YouTube.
Well, we should probably look quickly at Denver and the Clippers if we haven't already.
Okay.
I think those are pretty big. Maybe the Celtics.
For sure.
So pretty much the same team as they had before, minus Bones Highland. Who?
Oh my gosh, MPJ is going to get paid $30 million. Wow.
Yeah.
See what a 3-point, a gun, a cannon for a 3-point will buy you.
8.5 feet up when it's above your head. Yeah. Even with a bad back like that.
Wow. $30 million. AG now, someone talked about this earlier when the TV contract comes up, when the new CBA is here. By the way, they had to extend the negotiation deadline for the new CBA. But anyways, when the new TV contract to March 1st.
Oh, okay.
It was supposed to be like last weekend or something like that. But anyway, Aaron Gordon's contract a couple years ago was pretty big. Now it looks small, honestly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, times will change. Jordan Poole's contract is going to look somewhat small, I think, in a couple years. So,
yeah, crazy.
The sooner you pay these guys, I think, the better.
Mm-hmm.
So no more Bones Highland. He had differences with Mike Malone.
Yeah, they
you never get that over here.
Pick.
Golden State.
Oh, thank God! Yeah,
it's awesome, isn't it?
Hardly ever.
I mean, this is the norm. Mike Malone's doing his job. He's a good coach.
He's more intense than most coaches too. But.
You just end up. I mean, this is the norm. It happens. It happened on my teams that I would organize for tournaments and stuff. I just think that the Warriors, again, I just have such gratitude for being here, being able to do analysis on Warriors. I think we have the best franchise, not just ever organized, ever created to make a basketball team better, but also any sport. I just think the Joe Lacob, Bob Myers, and Steve Kerr they just have this culture that they have that really works. And just so happens you got 3 guys that really understand to put themselves in somebody else's shoes, having all that experience that Steve has, all the experience Bob has, and Joe from venture capital to be able to do this.
None of those guys matter without Steph. Steph made the Warriors the Warriors. Yeah. He's the reason everything works. And
you
take after your leader, and he's traded for peanuts. That makes me think there was a lot of tension there. Maybe even with Jokic or someone. I don't know.
Well, now I've got
We're
to
not waiving
Google.
Iggy. We're not waiving Iguodala.
Can you waive an NBA rookie?
I think you cannot waive them after you drafted them, because then people would just draft guys in the 29 or 30 and just cut them immediately. Like they're on the team until January or whatever. But then after that, after everybody's freed up, then yes, I think you can trade or waive, or especially a second round pick. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you can't draft them then immediately waive them. Otherwise, there would only be like 15 players who enter the league in a year. Yeah. So they don't want that. I think that's it. Amy, you want to go 7 hours? You can come on here and talk. I don't know if I can make it today, 7 hours. I'm sure Rich can because he's a man. But
3 hours, boom, we hit it.
Yeah.
So now we can sign off.
Clippers, Boston, and then I think there's not much else to talk about.
Okay. We did look at Clippers.
We already looked at the Clippers, huh? Yeah.
Was Reggie Jackson went out, Eric Gordon came in, John Wall went out,
They obviously got. Yep. Paul Leonard.
They got a lot of pieces.
Yeah, a lot of wings. They had Bones.
Yeah,
That's right.
They should do well.
If they can play on the court together.
Yeah.
And then Celtics. They made some moves. I think didn't Jaylen Brown break a bone in his face recently?
My gosh, somebody mentioned that and I wasn't paying attention. Maybe Nicole.
I didn't really look it up yet, but
and I was like,
rough.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a great 8 right there. Gallo is not playing, but Muscala, little stretch 5 to fill in for that Gallo role. Give him a little more length. Yeah, JTA is in Utah. Yep. I hope he stays there for a little while, like that. But not huge moves for the C's out there in Boston. KD was traded to Dubs. Well, maybe. I think it might have been 7 minutes of it's happening again. Everyone hates us. We're probably going to win the title. What more do you say? But we got Gary, so it's all happy vibes. And I think one of the best things that's coming out of the Suns is that people are going to look at the Celtics lineup and go like, yeah, it's them and the Bucks. I think a lot of people are I'm not in Utah though, man. You know, I'll go stay with him. He's got more money than me. But they're going to look at the Celtics and Bucks in the East, and I think they'll probably look at the Nuggets and definitely the Suns in the West and go like, these are the 2 favorites. And yeah, the Warriors okay, but they had a Gary Payne. Is that really that big a deal? I think we're going to have a real increase in focus and energy, and also a real decrease in outside noise a lot of times. So that could be really good. Get it. We're never going to be under the radar with Steph, you know, the Warriors, but people are going to say, well, they're playing great now. These last 5 weeks of the season, hopefully, you know, these last 5 weeks of the season, but we'll still take this team or that team over us, and that's not necessarily a bad thing for this team. Yeah, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, good point. I agree. Yeah, let Phoenix get all the national pressure now. And the attention, so that we can sort of regroup, find that hunger again, and it's better to be the underdog, especially when you're trying to repeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gladly be the underdog trying to repeat.
We got a lot of bulletin board material that just wasn't there earlier. You know, it's going to be a lot harder for us though too. I think it will be. But how many other teams do you think are really on our level defensively? I don't. If we're healthy, really, we ought to be an elite defensive team.
Yeah,
I really think so.
For sure. It's super impressive just looking at it on paper. Okay. So we good here, everybody?
Yeah. Vitor's going to bed, so time to call it probably here. Thank you guys for showing up on an off night. I know it's a trade deadline, but no game, and we get how many likes do we have?
Oh, we got 100 something, so that's great.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks, everybody. So we'll be back here, or I will. When's your next availability, Dean?
Oh, I don't know. I was sick these past couple of days. I have tomorrow off, and then I'm working quite a bit.
Okay. Let's see. The next live stream is Saturday, Lakers, 5:30
Right.
off.
That's right. The new look Lakers.
Yeah. Versus LAL, 5:30 tip off.
5:30.
All right, people. Everybody good? High five. Hey, we got 73. The magic number, 73. Hallowed number, in a way.
Yeah.
Just us, Vitor. Have a good time in Brazil, my friends. Dean with the pink hands. Nye in NYC. Oh, nice. You're in NYC? Cool, man. Hope to see you soon. All right, thanks, Dean.
Thanks, sir.
Can't thank you enough. You're the motor. Love it.
Yeah,
and
I'm Gary Payton. You're Steph Curry. I'm happy.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be Juan Toscano Anderson. You know?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, that means you're a Utah Jazz guy, though. So.
Anyway, just us 1, 2, 3 people, and we will see you in 48 minus 44 hours. All right.
Yep.
See you in 44 hours, everybody. Thanks.